You're listening to the official Brain Dead podcast. My name's Billy, and honestly, furries have it figured out.
I'm Giles, and I'm still waiting for the damn sea lobsters.
My name is Oliver, and I am the human incarnation of a Denny's Grand Slam.
My name's Grant, and my piercing has turned into an unclip.
And my name is Jared. Take white and make it darker.
And today we're just going to discuss some stuff about video games and getting some hypotheticals. It's going to be a real good time. But to just start things off, man, the climate of video games lately has honestly, in a lot of our opinions, I think, been a little lackluster. And I think to start off on a positive note, we should talk about some of the games we've really enjoyed. Maybe a classic game, maybe a newer game. Like, what's everybody's take on top 5 favorite games?
Top 5 in no particular order for me. I probably played through Portal 2 more times than I can count. Mass Effect 2, I didn't play the first Mass Effect because it was just not on my radar when it first came out.
Wasn't it exclusive to something?
Wasn't it an Xbox exclusive?
I think the first one may have been an Xbox.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't because they didn't get it until the trilogy came out on PS3.
Yeah, but it at the time I didn't know much about it, and I just kind of picked it up. But Mass Effect 2 is probably Rip Andromeda, probably the best out of the series. Fallout 3 was really good. The Last of Us, I've played more times than I can count, and then I think all of us here are pretty big on Overwatch.
I do enjoy that. I can see your notes, and it does say in parentheses next to Mass Effect 2, Rip Andromeda.
I paid full price for the deluxe edition of that game, and they just ripped the money into shreds and just threw it up like confetti.
I feel like a lot of games do that sometimes. But anyway,
more recently, especially.
That game took a step back, bro. And not even just one step. They fell down the stairs and crashed into oblivion.
I watched that whole thing from a distance because I never played any of those games, but I was like, those guys look mad.
The gameplay for Andromeda was fine when it worked. It didn't work most of the time. That was the problem.
Well, and you got to think, they had already had this game built out before. I don't know if it was some kind of fire in the studio or whatever, but they built it out, and then someone said we have to restart a year before release, and then of course EA kept them to their deadlines.
Didn't that happen?
And so they had a year to finish a full-length, big fandom game, and they just couldn't do it.
The humans didn't even look like humans. They looked like mushy Play-Doh people.
Half the time they were just
90s
crab
Pixar.
walking.
Yeah, 90s Pixar.
You'd be in one of the city areas or on the ship, and all of a sudden you start crab walking for no reason.
You don't do that?
I know what you're talking about.
And then there's
you
one
got
part,
space legs.
There's one part of the ship where it's all the living quarters and stuff like that. And there was one time I was going to talk to someone, and I followed them into the room, and then they just floated into the ceiling and disappeared, and my game broke.
Well, that's one of Billy's favorite games. I'm just gonna reiterate that.
No, that's Andromeda. Two is
different. My bad again.
Andromeda's the one where we're crucifying.
2 is just about flawless.
Other side of that coin.
Oh, yeah. Say my top 5 games would be Monster Hunter World specifically. Shovel Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Doom. Spider-Man PS4 and God of War 4. Honorable mention. We'll get in there. Destiny series. We'll get into it. There's a thing on here for it.
There's a note for it.
We haven't pinned.
We're gonna
pin on that later.
It's gonna come back
Overwatch is
to
kind of also pinned.
Overwatch is pinned for sure.
Overwatch is in the trash bin, in my opinion.
Hot take. Anyway.
I love my friends, and my friends play it, so I play Overwatch.
Dropping bombs. Yeah, I'd say I love the Pokemon series to death. That's my childhood. The Pokemon games are the reasons I know how to read.
What was your first one?
Red, red version.
Straight up red.
Because my brother had it.
Mine was blue.
My brother had it, and he was like, "You can't play this because it's all reading, and you don't know how to read." And I was like, "I'm right then." And I learned
the first one I ever played was the version of Yellow that you let me borrow. I know.
Shit.
Yeah, like the original Yellow on Game Boy.
Yeah, but man, Pokemon's been with me for a long time. I'm really sad I lost my DS.
What are your favorite starters?
Favorite starter Pokemon? I have a big love for Charizard just because, like, I had my Fire Red Charizard from the original Fire Red game I played up until, like, a couple years ago when I lost my DS and all my Pokemon.
See, Mudkip is a big mood. Mudkip is, that's the boy right there.
I really thought Cyndaquil was adorable.
Yeah, Cyndaquil's great.
And Typhlosion looked cool to me. Those were the only two fire starters that I really liked. After that, I started kind of picking either the grass or the water because then they went into firefighting a lot, and I never liked their final evolution.
A lot of people really love Blaziken.
Yes, I don't like Blaziken.
And I'm not really a fan of Blaziken.
Swampert.
Only people that like Blaziken are the people that want to fuck Blaziken.
True.
yeah.
That's facts. That's not an opinion.
My first fire starter was Incineroar because I love that big macho cat.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, he's that firefighter. Oh, is he fire?
He's
fire
dark.
Infernape.
He looks like he's
Infernape?
That's right.
I love the Finnick Fox one. What is
Finnegan.
Finnegan?
Delphox is the evolution.
Yeah, Delphox
I really like Delphox.
Yeah, I really like it.
I like Greninja.
Probably
Greninja
unpopular
was
opinion,
the
but-
weeb in me.
I am.
Greninja.
I'm always grass type. I stick with the grass types, and I will probably continue to do that for the new game
because
where I have my funny monkey.
I can't wait to see like what they announce for the secondary types for all the starters.
Yeah, I really want to see their final
I
evolutions.
really hope Scorbunny's not another fucking fighting.
Dude, they're gonna make it fighting, and it's gonna.
There's no way they're not going
I
to.
don't.
Had a little bandage on the nose.
That or fire dark. They could maybe make it a dark type.
But they did that already.
Yeah, but like I mean, they
I
did
just-
fire
I want-
fighting
I
back
want
to back to
something
back.
different. I want something different for a fight.
I'm sure we
water. Puts himself out in the middle of
That's
battle.
the triangle.
Again, that would be nuts to me if they like gave them secondary types that were also elements because they never do that. Certainly not
like
with
a fire
starters.
electric or
Yeah,
that would be
just something
crazy.
nuts. Anyways, so Pokemon's big in my gameplay. So is the Monster Hunter series in general. Started with 3 Ultimate. Been playing ever since. I really like World. I can't wait for Iceborne. I'm sure that's a big thing for everybody. Big mood at this table. Fallout New Vegas is special to me, specifically that one. I like the other Fallouts to a standard. Or to a point, but Fallout New Vegas was just really wacky and fun for me, and even though it at times is bad, I accepted that, and I liked that about it, to be honest.
I think 3 and 76 are the highlights of the series. Not that I didn't like 4.
Not 73.
Did you say 76?
No, not
Are you
76.
sure about that?
Christ, Billy,
No.
you scared us.
Yeah.
Not 76. Ignore 76. New Vegas.
New Vegas. Okay, I was about to say.
We'll come back to 76 and everything.
Put
that's
a
wrong
pin
with
in that one, too.
Put a pin in that.
I can put my gun away now. Jesus.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, we was about to throw hands at this
I'll
table.
put my laser pistol away.
Energy weapon. Dead Rising series, the first 2 specifically. Nothing against 3, or well, kind of something against 3 and the 4th one.
Well, the 4th
But,
one more particular.
1 and 2 were just a good blend of being not on purpose funny that I really liked. 2 was kind of more on purpose funny, but like 1 wasn't supposed to be as funny as I found it.
See, the thing I liked about 2 is that it was one of those games where you could have like 3 or 4 people, especially back when we were like in high school and stuff, where one person would play and you would just all watch them. And you could just sit around.
It was
and do that for,
entertaining
like, the
to
entire
watch.
night.
Yeah, it's kind of like Grand Theft Auto, where it's like, oh, okay, everybody gets 2 lives. When you die twice, you get to hand the controller to the next person.
Yeah,
that's
man.
how it always was.
It was fun stuff.
You know what? I'm gonna have to revisit my list. I'm gonna knock off God of War 4 and put the Saints Row series on there.
Oh my!
I just remembered.
Saints Row series is
the
something.
It's wacky.
The evolution
It's
of
a
that
hard
series.
game to be a fan of. I will say that it's one that like
I played 2. That's it.
you get your good one and you get your bad one. And you get a good one and you get Agents of Mayhem.
Each game is.
We don't
Each game has just
talk
been so
about
different.
Agents of Mayhem.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Just
we
like
might
we
as
don't
well
talk
talk
about
about it
Dead
since it is
See,
it is the end of the series.
I'm glad that Saints Row didn't just go like the road of just being a GTA clone.
Yeah,
In a
'cause
way.
that's what
I'm
the first
glad
two
that
were.
it just went off the
It
deep
was
end.
just like, let's just go nuts.
Let's just go nuts, and everybody will love it, and they did.
I will never forget the intro to Saints Row 3 as this over-the-top bank robbery
Yeah.
where the tellers just for whatever reasons pull out guns.
Yeah,
Fucking Saints Row 4 when you're the fucking president and the aliens come down
Saints
and
Row
you defuse
4
a rocket.
That's wacky, but like 3 hits that perfect like,
Yeah.
this is Grand Theft Auto,
But goofy.
but not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets way
To
too
think in
crazy.
2, you were just like doing gang war shit.
Yeah.
Just the evolution of that series is insane.
Went from gamers to
then,
superpowers.
And then fifth on my list is the first two Bioshocks. I didn't really play a lot of Infinite because I have it, and I haven't managed to finish it because it kind of bores me in a way that I
there's
don't
a lot.
understand.
Well, I think the game's storytelling is pretty good, but as far as the world that it's in and some of the gameplay, it's two steps backwards.
It's a
The
little
first
too
two is
ambitious.
ambiance, like if you were to play that the first two, like the remastered versions,
Uh-huh.
in like a dark room with a headset on, and you went into some of those rooms where like there's like people chattering and like the water dripping sounds and like you just have
Music
you're
that might be
wrench,
playing.
the
you're
whole-
wrenching your anaplasmids, and you're just like
The horror aspect was a big thing about the first two compared to Infinite. Infinite wasn't really horror.
It's like a blockbuster.
Well, then it also
Yeah,
didn't,
it was
like
more
it,
action based.
whereas the other games did know a good amount of like enemies to throw at you. It didn't feel like the third one did. The third one they would like throw maybe one or two, maybe three people at you. I mean, there were a couple times when they'd be like, "All right, here's a big wave," but just like going through your normal level, two or three enemies. That's
It's
I mean that's
well,
but
nothing.
shout
well,
out to
the-
that one horn-headed motherfucker that jump scares you at the end of one mission.
At the end of
Like-
Infinite.
Infinite.
Yeah, you just like start. You have to spend this whole mission like sneaking around these like searchlight
alarm
horn-headed
dudes.
people.
Yeah,
and then like you get to where you're going, and your
Oh.
camera
Horn,
turns
like-
around and
like
one's in your
big
face,
ears.
and he blows
the sirens.
the,
I think
the
is what they
sirens
were
at
called.
you.
I
Yeah,
think they were called sirens.
Yeah.
you just blow the horn in your
And
face.
Infinite's so weird because I saw like the trailer for it.
Oh yeah, the trailer looks nothing like
so
the
much
game.
longer before the game came out.
The
Because
first,
just
like-
kept being.
Well, and it was like an E3 concept trailer.
Yeah.
And the first E3 concept trailer compared to what the game turned into, way off. They must have changed their mind about 50 things between the trailer and the actual.
Yeah, because I
execution
saw
of
the
game.
trailer when like Tobuscus was big. Like that was
Yeah.
back
Oh
in the
my
day.
god.
Yeah,
Wait,
'cause
was
he made one of those like those
Honest trailers
Yeah,
or-
honest trailers. I remember like almost all the lyrics to it. I'm not gonna sing it, but like yeah, I remember. Like,
Well,
all
come
the
on,
lyrics
Jared,
for
sing it.
No, oh, Big Daddy. No,
No, okay, we're good.
But,
We're good.
oh god.
Honorable mentions on my end. The newest Spider-Man game was great. I cried a little at the end of it. I do like Overwatch though. Again, pinned that because there's some stuff. One from my high school tenure that really stuck with me was specifically Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yes, that's the best one of the
Yes,
series.
It's the one I played the most of. I feel like it had just the right amount of customization. I just really liked it, and you got to go for that tactical nuke, which I did twice in my playing of that game.
The only
apparently.
time I ever got 25 kills without dying, I never had the nuke on. Anytime I had the nuke on, I couldn't get anywhere.
I did it.
Was
I
it
did
nuke
it on
you had
a
to turn
terminal.
Huh?
My first one.
Yeah,
But you had to pick your perks.
yeah.
Yeah,
it
or
was
not
a perk
perks,
you
but
could
your
pick.
like kill streak rewards.
You weren't into Modern Warfare 2, were you?
Yeah, my big nostalgia Call of Duty is Black Ops 1.
That's right.
That's where
It's still
I,
good.
Yeah.
Those
I,
are,
I thought you still get to pick your
Black Ops is
you
where
do,
I
but
kind
you
of
don't.
trail off.
There's not a nuke.
Yeah.
I got Xbox Live for the first time ever 2 weeks before Black Ops 1 released, and I played Modern Warfare 2 for a solid week with my buddy, and then we both got a Call of Duty Black Ops 1, and that's where I kicked in the game forever.
See, Black Ops 1, its story is the first one that I actually played all the way through because it was actually interesting.
The first two Modern Warfares were good stories.
Yeah.
I didn't really like how Modern Warfare 3
Yeah, I know.
went.
So many
the
war
ending,
crimes.
Yeah.
the ending where you're just in like the Juggernaut suit and it
I mean,
it wasn't satisfying.
remember when
Spec Ops is
this just reminded me? Speaking of
Yeah,
Modern
Spec Ops.
remember when
No
that
Russian.
scene in Modern Warfare 2 where you like gunned down a bunch of innocent people was like a really big deal?
No Russian.
Well, yeah, because they give you the choice at the beginning of the game. They're like, you can
You
skip
can
skip
this
this,
mission,
or
You can
not.
skip
and then
it.
there are still people that were mad about it. Like, you got the option not.
And
to
that
play
came day
mission.
one. That's not like after the controversy they were like, okay, we'll add this in. Day
They're just-
one they gave
they're
you the
just mad
choice.
because you
Yeah,
can't. You have the ability to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's the only reason that they're mad, and like I can see why some are, but the people that are mad are like moms, you know.
I really think it adds to the storytelling, like storytelling in a game. It really has to make you feel.
Yeah.
So-
Had you just seen a cutscene that was that, you would not have been attacked.
Yeah, if the fact that you had to gun down so many innocent civilians trying to keep this role of
When you
this
didn't even have
undercover- of this undercover agent.
Well, you did as part of the story,
that
but you didn't.
You didn't have
that
to
you're
shoot,
playing.
though. Is
You
what I
didn't
mean.
have to shoot,
Yeah.
but like
If you still wanted to see the scene, you still had the option to not do
what
it
made
yourself.
what made that level so much more interesting was the way it ended.
Yeah.
Which is where they're like, yeah, we know you're fake, and then they just kill you.
It's
Yeah,
the
that's
biggest gut.
That's the conflict of the second game. Is like that has actually sparked that conflict with
Part of
Russia.
World War.
And you feel like you've just contributed to the story, and you feel invested
But yeah,
in the
man.
whole thing.
My first tactical nuke was on Terminal. I had my fall camo ACR, and I was hiding up on like one of the up on top of the plane, and I was just because that thing had ridiculous range. To be honest, for a machine, or it wasn't a machine gun, it was an assault rifle.
Yeah.
but it
My
still had
first
ridiculous
one
range.
was on Rust.
Really?
During Team Tactical, but someone switched the lobby to where it had the slots of Ground War. So you would have Ground War and Rust.
Oh.
And I played with...
It was on a modded, a broken
and
server.
I had I used Tactical Knife and got about like either 67 or 70 kills before death.
Honestly,
And
Respect.
that is so because people were spawning on top of each other at that point.
you just-
if you literally just
Well,
run
and that's the
in
thing.
a
That's the
circle-
problem with those like 1v1 maps that they had always had. Was
Yeah.
Call of Duty has always had broken spawn points,
Mm-hmm.
but the small maps it was so much worse.
You
So
kill
I
someone,
remember
you
doing
run
the same
outside.
thing.
Rust was only for small team things like Team Tactical, where they can't spawn on top of each other because it's just 4-man teams.
Yeah.
But when you break it like that,
Well, and because I remember I've had a couple of those tactical nukes, and I remember each one was specifically I was that asshole that had like an assault rifle and the knife,
yeah,
and like you just run through the map. You just stay running.
exactly.
Oh yeah, no, there were
You put on like commando, and then
Yeah, and you
something I
jump 50
honestly
feet to
miss
stab
is there
them.
was like customizations you could do in those games where like if you wanted to make a class where you just tack knifed people the entire
Well,
game,
yeah,
that
basically
it was a
yeah.
viable tactic.
Your mobility was affected by your loadout, and then there
Yeah.
were also perks that enhanced your mobility.
Commando Pro is broken.
Yes,
Basically, you would pick like the M9 and a knife, and you would just
you
and
were
tack
fast
knife
as
because then
fuck,
you could knife like twice
Yeah.
as fast.
And you can knife from across the map.
that was
in
also
Commando Pro.
that was the prime setup for Michael Myers.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't have a tack knife and Michael Myers, you were fucked.
Or fucking turtling, where you'd get the SWAT guard and just hide in the
I
corner.
remember the one cheesy thing I was really good at, besides using the ACR, which is probably one of the easier guns, was the secondary loadout where you could pick the Thumper, which is just a grenade launcher.
Yeah. Then you would have like, scavenger.
I was really good with that grenade launcher to the point where I remember if you got so many kills and like direct hits with that thing, you would get certain titles that were only unlocked when you did that many.
Yeah.
So I had the one for like 1,000 kills or 1,000 like direct hits, and people would see.
NoobTuber?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, no, not that one. It said Thumper. It said Thumper on it.
Specifically the thumb.
So like, I remember I was in a lobby once where they were like, "What's that tag you have? Why is your thing?"
That's
just
the
say
gun.
Thumper?
That's what the gun's called.
Yeah,
too.
and I was like, it's because
secondary.
I play with the Thumper. And he was like, the Thumper sucks, and I was like, all right, you're about to find out. Why use the Thumper?
You're about to get
See, the secondaries I always used were either just straight rocket launchers or I used the model 1995 or whatever it was called.
Oh,
The dual
the
shotguns?
dual lever shotguns.
Yeah, those were amazing.
Ooh, yeah, no, that's a big
It was
field.
I
either
was
you
the
used-
Deagles kid.
It was either you used the, you say Deagles?
Yeah, I was the Deagles
Wow.
kid.
But like it's either you use the model 1995 with the intervention, or you use the spam technique where it's just a Barrett and Rangers. People kept doing those two things.
Oh, the
Well, if you
Where-
shotgun or if you sniped, you had to have a shotgun. Otherwise, you were fucked.
Yeah,
Whatever.
or
people got,
if you're
when
good
people
at
got into your
quickscope
nest.
things.
Oh yeah.
That's when you get the intervention.
It was always very satisfying to use like a spaz with a grip and just like shoot someone from
Oh,
an
yeah.
unreasonable
The range
distance.
was
Just like,
ridiculous.
just yeah, those shotguns are great.
I remember when people would quote unquote quickscope you with the Barrett, and they would just like keep firing as
Oh, it's
they're
Barrett
zooming in
spam.
and out.
Barrett
Yeah.
spam.
Like,
Yeah, they just,
oh,
Where they would just get that like fucking auto lock, where it would just lock onto you because they look down.
I had a guy who had a modded controller that fired that thing like a fucking.
Everybody had that was
LMG.
the era of
Yeah,
modded control.
His brother, my friend brother, back when we hung out
I have
with
to
him,
bleep that out.
He's a terrible person.
Bleep out the name, please. Bleep out both names, please.
There's a dude I knew in high school who was totally that guy as well. He had all the modded controllers and everything.
Spend ridiculous amounts of
Yeah,
money.
it was... And then he would, like, rarely play, honestly. Or he'd rarely play with me. I don't know if he just didn't like me. We don't hang out. But, yeah. I totally know that. He would use a fall, the FAL.
FAL, yeah.
And he could make it rapid fire. And when you looked back at a kill cam, you could tell he was modded.
It would look fully automatic.
Yeah. So it wasn't like, oh, he fairly got me. It was like,
Well, I mean, I knew people that were genuinely good at like, you know, like getting those controllers fast or the buttons fast. But yeah, no, his was like
you know,
his was automatic.
paintball tactics.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
My God, I love. Those are my favorite guns in Call of Duty. The semi-automatic.
The ones that shoot as fast as you can pull the trigger.
Kill in 2 shots. Yeah. Stupid,
That's
ridiculous.
what's up.
And then go into hardcore. It's just 1 shot.
Dude, hardcore. That's all I played. I didn't play core because it was like shooting
Thank
bullet
you.
sponges.
Yeah, man, I love hardcore.
Couldn't do
It's
core
great.
anymore.
I never really did understand the whole search and destroy thing because
Yeah, I never
like
liked it.
a lot of the people I used to play with, we would play, you know,
I remember.
Demolition and Team Deathmatch and all that stuff.
And then
all
someone
of a
would
sudden-
say, search and destroy.
and everyone would just get a hard on, and everyone would jump in and they wouldn't play anything but that for weeks.
Search
on
and
end.
Destroy was only fun when you were good at it.
Didn't it get you a lot of experience? Isn't that the thing?
I
Yes,
think so.
Sure.
every
Drugs.
kill was 500 XP.
You got a lot of experience for it, but it was that same system that I hate in any game where once you die and you're done, because
It's weird.
I died fast and that was it.
It's because
That's why I don't like
it's-
Battle Royale.
It's because there's
That
a
was
risk.
just about to say.
Well, every one of those has a respawn now.
No one
Thanks.
likes battle royales unless
Thanks,
you're
Apex.
good at battle
See,
royales.
the reason people love Search and Destroy is because there's a risk, and that's what the pros play. That's like the modes they play. That's why Counter-Strike is literally that. It's
Yeah,
just Search
that's
and
all
Destroy
Search and
the
Destroy.
time.
Or Rainbow Six
Well, there's a couple
Siege.
different game modes.
Sure.
Search
Yeah.
and Destroy is
The
the
game
main one.
Yeah. It's just a risk.
because it's competitive.
Yeah, it is more competitive, and I'll give it points for that. It's fucking Overwatch is just push the cart or control the point.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, just about
King of
every
the
major
Hill.
shooter is going to be.
Yeah, that's why.
repetitive.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. But that's why Overwatch's like competitive scene isn't about
Kills.
Isn't about kills.
Yeah.
It's about sustain.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why like if you do any sort of damage to someone, even if someone else gets the kill, it still counts as an elimination.
That's why the meta right now is just 3 support players, 3 tank players, and you just like whoever fucks up.
I like how
loses.
Overwatch just completely fucked their game with one hero.
They have.
Oh, yeah.
They have. And we will. Yeah, it's really broken. Just like Diablo 3, it's not fun. That was my last honorable mention. Nice little segue there. Diablo 3's fun. Anyways, Grant.
Oh, we're still on this one. We're still
Yeah.
last. Okay,
We're
cool.
tangenting. We're reeling it back.
Reeling it back. Okay, bringing it back in. My top 5 games, at least currently, because I feel like it changes every time I remember something exists.
True.
Would be like Bloodborne. Of course, I like all the Dark Souls games, and I'm loving Sekiro right now. But Bloodborne is on there. Monster Hunter, of course, the series. Me and Oliver both started on that at the exact same time. Him getting the game on accident, and me getting the game out of curiosity, kind of made for this beautiful beast that we are still real into.
That first night we spent grinding to fight the Lagiacrus.
Oh,
And the sun was coming up, and we were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. We were just like, oh.
Now,
we
of course-
spent that much time.
yeah. If I remember right, Oliver, you put like almost 400 hours into 3 and 4 individual.
I put
I've-
close to that.
I've
in
put
3.
350 hours into every Monster Hunter game I've played. World, I've finally broken that record, and I'm into like the 420 hour mark.
I put about 90 hours into World. I've never been as big into Monster Hunter. It's fun, but Oliver and Grant have always been the big 2 boys on that.
Which, of
And then-
course, out of this group, I'm the only boy still on it with Generations on the Switch, because everyone else is garbage.
I just don't have a Switch. I would
Yeah,
play it.
I don't have
I've
a
been playing
Switch.
Monster Hunter.
I'll get
like,
it when I get a pro controller.
You should talk to the 2 dudes at the table who also have Switches.
Whatever, Jack is going to play with me.
Anyways,
Anyways.
I literally been playing Monster Hunter like
I wish I had a
since I
Switch.
know, like I was born.
I just have credit card
It's
debt.
my crap. That's my stuff right there. Even though I really, what's your favorite monster?
In
In-
general or
just
world?
overall.
Overall,
The Lagiacrus. It
Uh,
holds a place in my heart. He's cool looking.
What's the are we talking about looks, abilities,
Just in general, what's your
Just in
favorite?
general,
What's your favorite?
which
If
one
you
do you
had to
just
pick,
love?
you're like, that's my favorite monster.
Dodogama or Titsuyaku? That flashy boy or that fat lizard?
Look around with that rock-eating motherfucker.
Mine would definitely have to be the Nargacuga or...
Nargacuga for sure for me.
Yeah, up there is
what is
definitely
it?
Nargacuga.
What is it?
What's it look like?
Otogaron.
Otogaron?
Odie.
Yeah, that one's good.
Odie's good.
Got
The guy Chris
fingernails
just,
on
I feel
fingernails.
like, holds a sentimental place because it was one of those first big, like, I got to defeat that. Like, that's hard.
I hate the monster, but it holds a special place in my heart. Just with 3 again, the Plesioth. Just because it sucked. Don't get me wrong, but it was the one that we had all started playing it and we had all started grinding it, and then I was playing it on my own. Got to a new hunter rank, got some new monsters, and then I was the first one to get to this thing, and it was huge, and it was ugly, and it was annoying. And I remember coming to like you and Logan the next day and being like, I fought a chicken fish, and it pissed me off.
And we were like, a what? And you were like, a
Chicken fish. I'll get you
Yeah,
there.
that hip check attack it could do.
Yeah.
Or just its whole body. hits you.
Outside of Monster Hunter, Shadow of the Colossus is way up there for me.
Absolutely.
That's the only tattoo I have video game related at the moment.
It's one of those games where you can beat it relatively quickly, but it's still just so well done.
Well, the game is just weighty. By the time you beat it, you realize like what you've done.
Oh.
And yeah, no, it's an art house game. It's definitely one of those games that if someone were looking for a game that like plays super well and is super crazy, that's not it. But it plays fine. I like the story, and the air of the game is beautiful.
For sure.
Yeah, the final plot twist in that, like, once you beat the game it rips your heart out.
I never played it, but it
Also,
looks good.
your tattoo tells us where we can stab you to kill you.
Yep. It's just the big weak point from the Colossus, and it's right on my heart. But I feel like if I got stabbed anywhere, I'd probably die.
No,
Well, I mean,
that's
maybe
like
not,
double damage.
Yeah, that's critical.
That's a critical hit. All on crits.
Otherwise, the Metal Gear Solid series. Of course, I started with Phantom Pain, which maybe wasn't the best place to start, and then went back and played everything. Got caught up, and yeah, no, I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan at this point. And we're talking about another artsy game.
What a thrill.
Journey. Journey was a really good one. It kind of holds that same place with like Shadow of the Colossus.
I don't know what Journey is.
Journey was a PlayStation exclusive. I mean, it's a multiplayer game, but it's you've got like a pretty large map. There's like a puzzle or something to it, and you don't like. I couldn't invite you to play with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's other people randomly playing at the same time that will randomly spawn in your world. You don't even know who it is. You don't even get to see their gamer tag or anything.
You see another character.
You see them,
Chilling with somebody.
and they can help you. You're just hanging out. They might just be off in the corner doing their own fucking thing, but they can help you out.
I'm pretty sure there's a specific part of the game where you have to work with someone to beat
No,
it.
no, none of it. You can do it all alone.
I just know that at least like there's the part where you're in the snowstorm. I think it helps when you're with other people.
I think it makes that more cinematic, but it's not required at all.
Okay.
Now, of course, honorable mention with that, same vein, I like The Witness a lot because I like puzzle games. I liked Firewatch, even though it's just a walking simulator. But both of those games honestly helped me a lot in a depression spell I was in for a while. Just kind of zen out and think about how I don't got it so rough. But that's my list right there.
Man. Can I just say, I really like that no one can see this, but I really like that as you talked about Journey, Jared was behind you, almost hype manning you. You would like say something, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, man!" Like he'd be making these motions.
Mate, okay,
Oh,
so
real quick. Also, another honorable mention as far as getting me ever into any kind of fantasy gaming at all is Fable.
Yeah,
I agree. I started with Fable 2. I got
Hell
Fable 2 in Christmas of 2007.
honestly, I totally forgot Fable was a thing.
So I never played Fable 1. Still to this day, I've not played Fable 1.
one and two.
it's funny.
But I had a friend that had an Xbox and had Fable, and I watched him play it, and I enjoyed it a lot. I think it was the first time I ever saw something in a game that I was like, oh, that's fucked. The fact that, like, in the beginning of the game, they've, like, taken your sister's fucking eyes. Or some shit.
No. What happens at the beginning of the game is you either pick a boy or a girl. You guys are surviving in the cold, and then some shit happens, and then
I'm talking about Fable 1.
Fable 1.
Yes.
I think they just like
They take your sister's eyes or some shit.
They take.
No.
They-
Fable
you
2,
same
your
little
sister
option.
does die.
Yeah,
your brother
like
dies.
brother or sister dies.
Yeah, it's whatever gender you didn't pick.
The other one gets killed off.
That one gets the bad thing happen to him.
Yeah.
I just remember randomly that, speaking on Fable, I remember when Fable 3 was coming out, we were still in high school, and spoiler, me, Grant, and Billy went to the same high school, and we were like watching something, and I remember Billy got oddly excited in the moment that there was hand-holding in that game.
It was a trailer
And
for Fable 3.
We
and
really gave him shit for
I was-
a good minute for that.
For
it
context,
was great.
For context, we were talking about Fable 3, and I was really one of the few people that was excited about it. And one of the first things I said was, in the trailer, they show them holding hands, and I was going to follow it up with more. They didn't give me the chance to, and
Good friends do.
Oh,
I think
and
I
it's
think
haunted
you
me
should've-
for about however many years since Fable 3 is
maybe 8.
That's next gen technology holding hands.
Real talk though, I think that
Not
you,
enough hand-holding.
I think because of I want to apologize to you that we did that, because that sucks. Because at that very moment, that was like a spark of like a 2018, 2019 fucking game reviewer or game media, whatever. Fucking, because you said, oh, it's got handholding, and you were excited about that. Well, fucking, when Life is Strange came out, like IGN or Kotaku or some shit was like, oh, Last of Us is game of the year because it has benches that you can sit in and really take in your surrounding. And it's like, fuck off. Like, what kind of... Anyways, your stupid little thing would have got you real far in the game industry, and I'm sorry we shot you down.
You should be a video game critic, is what we're
I'd
hearing.
be the head writer at IGN right now if
Yeah,
it wasn't for
that's
you
not-
fucks.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's not a good place to be, but it's a place.
But all right, yeah. About the Journey thing, the reason I'm like hype manning him is because that's also on like my top 5 list. That's literally number 3 because that is.
Oh, you did yours in order. Mine weren't in order.
Mine's kind of in order, but that is definitely number 3. Actually no, that's number 2. Number 1 is Sly Cooper.
Ooh.
That is my number 1.
Just
game
the first 3.
of all of them.
I like just the first 3.
I never played Sly Coopers again.
All women. No, like all
women.
Oh yeah,
Queens.
all Sly Cooper. Just because I love the universe so much, it is so good, and I literally play it at least. I replay all of them at least 3 times a year, and that doesn't happen with other games. Maybe Journey, but yeah, first one is like Sly Cooper. Then we got Journey, Fallout 3. Because Fallout 3 literally was my like childhood growing up.
That's your slam.
4.
So real quick, I just want, because like Oliver had the Fallout thing. You mention Fallout? Did you mention Fallout?
I had Fallout 3 on my list.
So
too.
3
Fallout
Fallouts
3
at the
is a great
table. I enjoy Fallout, but I was never raised on it. I don't know. I never played it on my own. I only had played it after like I saw Oliver getting a kick out of it and his brother getting a kick out of it, and after a while of like friends just being like, it's a really good game, you should check it out. I was like, all right. And it was fine, but it definitely, maybe because I played it so late, but it did not hit me that hard.
Well, Fallout 3 is another one of those games where we would be at our friend's house and
yeah, and that's when I decided I wanted to play it, because I saw you guys play.
And what we would do is we would have one person sit in front of the TV, and they don't control anything other than the combat, and we tell them what to do. So we
audio or dialogue options,
Yeah,
or
we're like
designing the character.
make like a strength build where all you do is punch things.
An ugly ass strong character.
Logan was always really good at the creative aspect of that, of being like, make them look like this, and I'm going to pick your dialogue options, and you're just going to deal with it.
For me, I just kind of picked it up. And I was like, I might as well play. This looks pretty cool. It has that Brotherhood of Steel member on the front cover, and I got the Game of the Year edition. And I literally stayed home from school faking sickness for a whole entire week playing the game nonstop.
I just remembered what made me not want to play it.
Whoa.
I had a cousin who had the game and was like, oh dude, it's super cool, it's super fun, lots of cool action, blah blah blah. And I had seen trailers for it, on TV, specifically on like Comedy Central and stuff, because I guess rated M game.
No, is this Fallout 3 or New Vegas?
It was Fallout 3, and
Fallout
then
3.
same thing with New Vegas. But I had seen it and I was like, that looks neat. And then it came out. My cousin had got it right off the bat. And I remember like cool trailer and him being like it's action packed, whatever, and then him just dicking around in a city, talking to people and choosing shit and not doing anything. Him just being like, "Wow, look, there's a nuke in the middle of the city."
Megaton. I feel like
And I was like,
He wasn't even
I
like,
am on your
it just
same
looked
level,
boring
man.
as shit and underwhelming the first
The
time I saw it.
trailers are misleading.
Mhm.
People are like, it's the
They're
best.
better now.
It's like,
They're better now,
Yeah,
I'd
they're
say.
better now. They focus on like the
gameplay.
exploration.
Here's the thing. That's one of those games where you just have to experience it. Like
I don't feel like it does it justice until you
yeah,
just start playing
I
it.
feel
And
like-
sometimes it doesn't click.
because it's just the point where as I was playing it, I was like growing bonds with these characters, even though it's just a video game. Like I was like, oh, dude, Lucas Sims, dude, he's like my boy over here.
I feel like with Fallout 3 New Vegas are one of those games. Like there are some of those games where the first time you're experiencing them, it's best to do it just by yourself. Because, there are games you can start up and play, it won't have any effect if there's other people around and everything. But I played Fallout 3 completely by myself, no one in the room with me, and I think that's what made that game super important.
Because you really take the time to look at the scenery.
Yeah.
You look at everything you need to do. Like you're going through all the dialogue options, and you're like, oh, now I knew something about this that might influence my decision over here.
Yeah, I was able to immerse myself more into
It does also have like replay value because like I played 3. I played 3 and I played New Vegas without any of their added on content, and I guess getting replay value through added on content isn't a thing. But what I'm saying is like after like putting those down, there was a point in time before I had a new gen console, before I had a PlayStation 4, where I knew that Fallout 4 was coming out. Fallout at that time, because of my earlier days of both those games, I was already just like really excited for 4, but I knew like the odds of me getting a PlayStation 4 weren't high because I was broken in college. Thank you, my parents, for Christmas. But I remember 4 was coming out and I was sad about it, so I was like, I'm just going to go get Game of the Year edition of both those games because I didn't have them anymore, and I was like, I'm going to play them on my Xbox.
That's
and
when
I
it
played
was-
those back to back, all their content and everything. And I played like because my first playthrough, I feel like I played a character that I could like insert myself with.
Which one was this one? Was Fallout 3?
Yeah,
Both
both.
Fallout 3 and New Vegas. I kind of played like a male character, Caucasian. Like I played something that like kind of looked like me. So
You
I
took
could
the game
insert myself.
super serious.
Yeah. But like the second time I played through it, I made a Asian woman, and I believe I named her like something really vulgar, like anal princess or something like that, just for fun. For fun.
Anal
Princess.
You
You
saved
saved
Vault
us.
101.
And so like it was fun just to go through because there was like a bunch of I like statted the character different. Like I felt like it had replay value in the sense that like I had never played with a lot of luck in those games, and if you've never done it, do it, because there are dialogue options you get with luck that I will always remember. One time I was in a room where like a security robot had come by and they were like, identification. And one of the options, because my luck was like 7, was ice cream, question mark, and I said it and the robot was like, proceed, and I just left. And I was like, great. I'm not doing anything else now.
One more reason I really love Fallout 3 is just because like you start off being born, and then like you're going through
I love that part.
Literally
Right.
born.
I love being birthed. I think
we all
but like you come out and you're just living the life. Obviously, it's not that long of like going through all your ages until you're.
You have a connection with the character, though.
Yeah,
you see
you
them
grow
go
to
through
you
all
grow
that
to
stuff.
love it because you take like the goat test. You have a love interest.
You have your
inside the
weird,
ball.
awkward birthday
you
party.
have the tunnel snakes, the best gang in the world.
Tunnel
And
snakes rule.
Yeah, exactly. And you just kind of like love this little thing, and you think it's all okay, and then it just goes all wrong, and that's just amazing to me. I just love that. And you leave, and you're like, this is weird world.
Did you ever play the DLC where you go back to the vault?
Yeah, well, that's not DLC.
It wasn't not
that's
DLC?
That's just a quest.
Either way,
that's
going
when
back
you're-
to the vault quest is interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, because if you kill the overseer, it's like some other guy you don't even know.
Yeah.
But if you don't kill me, it's like
He's like, oh,
yeah. He just fucking around.
What was it? Was it 3? Where
That's
there
what
was a
it said.
mission where you went to there was a vault mission where it was just a bunch of clones.
The Gary Vault.
Yeah.
And all they said was
Gary.
Gary.
Yeah, honestly, like you could really get into a lot of. Bethesda did a really good job of making the vaults in like this hypothetical world where like America took a whole different turn in technology, where like the transistor wasn't invented and technology was still bulky and weird looking, and like they really bought into nuclear power more.
And
With
the
the
vaults
vaults
were
themselves-
testing.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
vaults were like
yes.
just experiments. That
Yeah.
the government was like, we're going to fill this vault with 99 men and 1 woman, and
What-
we're going to see what happens.
What I liked about that is each time you like find out about a new vault, it kind of had this like Aperture Science vibe to it, where it's like
Yeah, totally.
where it's not just like, oh, slight experimental things. It's like, what can we do to like really fuck with these people
Oh yeah, there was a
Yeah.
vault in...
to test humans?
there was a
as
vault
species.
in one of them where everyone there was addicted to like Psycho, which was like an aggressive drug.
heroin. It's like a heroin.
Yeah, it's like their version of heroin, and like they supplied it for a long time, and they were like, okay, we're gonna get them really into this, and then we're going to pull it. We're just gonna be like, you're out, you're completely out. We're gonna see what happens, and they just murder each other.
I've not played Fallout 3 or New Vegas, but I like listening to YouTubers talk about the lore stories of the vaults, and I heard about one that was just straight. It was a normal vault, but they were told you have to sacrifice someone every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it comes down to like the last 3 people, and they're all best friends, and they're like, we're not gonna sacrifice each other. We're just gonna take the punishment of not sacrificing someone. We're gonna get poisoned or something, get blown up. We're friends. We're going out to the end, and then it's like they don't sacrifice somebody, and it says, "Congrats on not being crazy."
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
just-
And
it's
that's
just stuff
it.
like that.
And it's really cool how the way you find out about these stories. It's not
It's
like
through
there's
logs,
it's not like there's just some big lore book that you just buy
Well,
off the game. It's in the game. You're just walking through these vaults while you're just scavenging for stuff.
But
and
it's
you
still
find holotapes.
it's still
and stuff.
up to you though.
Yeah,
you
it's
could
up to
not
you.
listen to the holotapes. You could.
Yeah.
There's no cutscene that forces you to know something.
Yeah, some of those diary entries you read from like computers, like the ones you read from the people who are all addicted to Psycho,
Yeah.
is just like day 13 without Psycho. My skin itches. I'm really thinking about punching Dave. God, fuck, I hate Dave. And it's just like stuff like that where like, hey, it's comical but also visceral how like you get down there and it's like there's like things in there where it's like, I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna end my life. Stuff like
It's
that.
like, holy shit.
And logs, and you're just like, fuck, man.
But for the rest of my list, I think I got to number 4. World of Warcraft, 100% play that pretty much all my life. And number 5, I'm just gonna have to give it to what is it called? Jeez, Jack and Daxter.
Okay.
Good
Jack
series.
and Daxter is
Those 2 PlayStation series, Sly Cooper and Jack and Daxter.
and Ratchet and Clank. But
And Ratchet and
I don't
Clank.
put Ratchet and Clank on that top list just because the other ones are just a little bit better.
Those
in my
3 are
opinion.
great Sony. like,
Yeah, they are.
products.
So the reason I didn't like with my list include any games I played as a kid, like I could obviously say I loved Crash Bandicoot and I loved Spyro, but like looking back at those things as adults, I'm like, yeah, those were nostalgic, but I'm not a huge fan of them now. You know
See,
what I mean?
yeah, I love Spyro, but it's just not a fun game once I play it now. But the fact that I can play Sly Cooper
I would
and,
play
and
Sly
Ratchet
Cooper
and Clank
again
and
if I
Jack,
could. Yeah,
I can
yeah.
still play those
Yeah.
and enjoy myself the entire time without it being like that. Oh, this is just nostalgia. Like the game is actually really fun.
So I actually never played those.
Yeah, they're really
Sly
good.
Cooper,
The
Jack
Sly
and
Cooper
Dexter,
games
and
are Ratchet and
like-
Clank?
Yeah,
Those
I
are
played
all
Ratchet and Clank
still.
until the
Those all
remake.
still hold up.
I think the reason I never played those was those came out at a time when like, so I had my dad and my older brother when when I was younger. My dad was still in video games, and so my dad would buy games, either sports games or like Twisted Metal, Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah.
And then my brother got it. My brother had a friend that got him into shooters, so like things like Medal of Honor and fucking not Call of Duty. It was Medal of Honor and
Gun.
SOCOM.
Okay.
And Gun. I know we had that one,
Yeah.
but so there was a time period there which Gun,
Just Gun.
it's called Gun. It was a
Yeah, I
comic.
remember Gun. I just like that it's just called Gun.
But that was a period when I started getting into more like action-y games.
It wasn't fantasy more than it was.
And like I would, this was a time when like I'd even see a kiddie game and I'd be like, "That looks stupid."
So you-
I'm not a kid.
You weren't really into like the
Colorful.
platformer genre that much because that was all those types of games.
I
It was all
was
super bright and colorful.
Yeah.
I was with
Banjo.
Nintendo, which is what's weird. So like I remember one Christmas I had specifically asked for my own console, hoping I'd get an Xbox.
Did you get a GameCube?
I got a GameCube. I was really mad about it at first. Shout out to the GameCube. I was really mad at it at first, Because I was like, this thing doesn't even play DVDs.
It's a cube.
It's a cube. I hate
What's the
square.
small
I
fist?
hate cubes.
God dang
Why
it,
does it
Bobby.
have a handle?
I asked for a rhombus.
But no, so I wound up getting it, and I was like, I don't even know what games are on this. And we went to fucking, like, Hollywood Video or Blockbuster. Probably Hollywood Video, which was...
Rip.
I don't even know how local that is. I really don't know.
There was
how
one
local.
near us.
But I don't know how
There's
local
one
that
right
is.
down the road.
Is that
from
was
where
that
we
something
live.
like all over the nation?
Someone-
I really don't know.
Someone please submit and tell me if there was a Hollywood Video near
Yeah.
you.
We
But-
had a video rental Golden Tan. What do you mean by
We
Golden
do.
Tan?
So over in
It's a tanning
Hendersonville,
salon.
where I live right now, there's
Look.
we have that in Hendersonville.
We
It's,
do?
It's called. I
You
don't
do?
even. I don't even know what it's called.
I don't live in Henderson.
It's got a like boutique
Yeah.
right in the center.
Mm-hmm.
There's some DVDs you can rent and some Blu-rays. There is tanning beds on every wall, all over the
Are
place.
you telling me there's still a store where you can rent a DVD?
I will take you to it next time we do.
Because I thought those were just
Wait,
red
the-
The
boxes.
DVDs and the tanning things were in the same room. At the
They
same
still
time.
are. It's open right now.
And people are
I thought
tanning.
I
while
gotta
they're
go.
getting videos.
Oh, no,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
it's not the same room. So
Oh,
they're
yeah.
they're like
Okay,
each separate
okay.
little parlors.
I thought
Okay,
you meant there's
okay.
just like an open area.
And then there's also like a
This is wacky.
there's also like a FedEx. So like like a small Federal Express right in there too. So if you need to ship something, you can do
Holy
it from this
shit,
sketchy
dude.
You
little
can
building.
get a tan, you can get some
Holy
DVDs,
shit.
and you can ship
It's
things.
fucking
Oh,
weird.
where-
I have no clue. I walked in and I was like, this is only open because it is currently a drug front.
Yeah.
I
just
agree
like
to
mattress stores.
All
Yeah.
right, real quick. I gotta get this out there because it was mentioned. Everybody here liked the GameCube, right? Or is it just me?
Oh yeah, here, let me
Yeah,
finish
I
that
like
up.
the
I love the GameCube. I hated it at first. I went to the rental stores. I saw Bionicle. I saw SpongeBob. I saw Mario.
Pokemon Coliseum.
We're talking about SpongeBob Battle
For the
of
movie.
Bikini Bottom
No,
or the
for
movie?
the
Oh,
movie.
I have that game on the
'Cause I have
PlayStation
both.
too.
I loved it. I don't
I
know if
did
it's
too
good.
as a kid.
I
Battle
don't
of
know if it's
Bikini
good.
Bottom
and it had
probably
all the
wasn't
racing.
good, but the movie one at least was accurate to the movie.
yeah.
It also had like a bunch of racing parts where you drove
With
like,
the
Paddy wagon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you
paddy wagon.
drove the paddy wagon.
Well, and then it was also because I was missing out on like Jack and Daxter and things like that. I think this was the first game that I had played where like you'd level up and unlock new skills. Because again, I didn't play those other ones, so I was like, "Oh, cool! I'm SpongeBob, but now I can do a kickflip or like I don't know, some weird ability."
I found it.
But then that was also my first Zelda because Wind Waker was my first Zelda game
Mhm.
at all.
Did you play the
my first was on the DS.
Yeah, I played the Wind
Yeah,
Waker
it's
on.
good.
on
I actually
the-
played Spirit Tracks first.
Did you hear what's going
I
on
never
right now?
played the Zelda games.
So,
I know
like,
it's a hot button.
A week, maybe not a week
But,
ago, sometime last week, Best Buy apparently leaked games coming to Switch.
Yeah.
So I think they said that on the Switch they put up pre-orders for a minute for Wind Waker, either Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, and then it was something else. It was like a Mario game, but I can't remember. It might have been Mario Sunshine. But if they put those on the Switch, I'd be stoked.
Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention this in the beginning. If my voice sounds a little scratchy, it's because I have a sore throat at the moment, and I kind of heard it when I was talking about my favorite game. And I was like, oh, I don't want people to think that. Oh no.
Jared has a
Please
busy
don't.
life, down on his knees.
So,
All right. All right.
Anyways, I was mad about. I got into a period where I played mature games. I got a Nintendo, and I was like, "Oh, kids' games are okay." So that's I
Yeah,
missed
my
out
favorite
on that
GameCube
period.
game was Pikmin. I loved Pikmin.
Oh,
See,
Pikmin
I
was
didn't play
good.
Pikmin until the Wii U.
I never really played 3. I don't know how it is.
Pikmin's the
1
one
and
game
2.
that was able to stress me out.
See, I
Right.
wasn't a Nintendo kid.
I was so
until-
worried for those
Yeah.
little boys.
Like, I didn't own a Nintendo console until I got the 3DS. I grew up, I got a PlayStation 1 from my cousin.
Mhm.
I played, like, Rayman. And,
How old were you at that time?
I was like 7.
You didn't own the glorious Wii?
So I mean, even then,
Well,
though,
I mean,
you
I-
didn't get a console until you were like 7.
I remember
Yeah,
how
I
it was
I-
a
weirdly
PS1,
into Wii
which
music
at that
was.
point the PS2 was already out.
Yeah, like, he got a PS2. I got the PS1. I played, like, the old Tony Hawk games. I was actually really big into the Pro Skater games. Cause
Oh, I played. Yeah, I
got-
had 3 on the N64. and
I
those
got
were
the
good.
PS2. I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. Probably like not overestimating. Probably about 100 hours.
I don't think
I would just play that game every day.
I don't know if I played 4, but I know from 3 I pretty much got into. No, it wasn't 3 on the N64. It was like the first one or the second one. But I know after 3 on the PS2, I jumped straight into Underground, which is just Bam Margera Jackass game. But I enjoyed them.
I played Underground 2, but I didn't play the first one.
The only skating games I was into were Skate.
Skate is the best skating game ever
Absolutely.
in the entire world. And Skate 3 will... I don't even know why I didn't even put that in my top list. If there's a 6, that's a 6. Skate 3, I played it every single day with my friends.
Yeah, it would be,
The
it'd be like
multiplayer modes were funny.
It would be
It is
like
the
4 or
best.
5 of us, and we would just all play Skate 3 for like hours.
Yeah,
So
I love the Skate series.
I never played a skate game as much as I had seen stuff from Skate. And I back to like having someone play a game and you just watching it and having fun. And we'll have to get Jack on the podcast at some point.
Oh yeah, totally.
But that night that Jack made like mentally handicapped Britney Spears.
I remember that. There's a bunch of like video games has been such a part of my childhood in the sense
Well, just
that
friendship groups.
we
and
would,
stuff.
we would. It was something for me and my friends to all have an excuse to be in the same room and put our attention towards that wasn't like a movie.
We never even did like LAN parties or things like that. It was just like we'd all be in a room and we might play a game together.
Yeah.
But there were even just times when we'd all play different games in the
have-
same room and
and
have
just
a
hang out
blast.
and
We'd
talk
have like
about
4 or 5 TVs. We'd all be doing our own thing, and then all of a sudden, like sometimes someone would be like, "Do you guys want to play this?" And we'd all put it in. But for most of the time, we'd just be playing our individual games, or 2 people. We'd have 4 people. And it would be
Maybe two people playing the
one
same game. And
2 people playing one game, 2 people playing another. But
And
that was like every night we hung out, especially in high school.
I love that a lot more than just watching a movie with your friends. Just because whenever I watch a movie with my friends, the whole entire time I feel like you want to say something about the movie, they'll be like, "Dude, shut up! What are we doing?" It's like, why are we hanging out then?
Dude,
why are we here?
I talk during any movie.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he does.
Here's the thing. I
Me
love
man.
showing friends movies. Like if there's a movie that's like wild or just something that I'm like, you guys got to see this. I love showing friends movies. However, will not say like, shut up, you have to watch it. I might be like, hey, dude, check this part out.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say, shut up.
Yeah,
You
I'll
have to
do
watch
that.
that.
I remember the day of your wedding. We watched the Godzilla movie, the
Oh,
Japanese
dude.
version.
Yeah, Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
But if we're going to a movie theater, I kind of see the let's not talk because I worked at a movie theater.
Well, it's just polite.
So,
That's
I
the
don't
setting.
talk. But like during Alita, me and Oliver every now and then we'd say something.
Oh, yeah.
If
like that.
If
I
I
can't
were in
shut
a
up.
Yeah,
movie,
exactly. I love that.
if I'm in a movie and something goofy happens, now like there's movies I want to see that like I want to take serious. When I saw Hereditary in theaters, I'm glued.
Yeah.
Don't bug me. You know what I mean? And there's movies like Pet Sematary I'm gonna go see today. So something goofy might happen in it, and I might be like, what the fuck? But like, I still just want to see it. But seeing something like Alita, if I went to go see Pacific Rim, anything like that, I want to be like, all
glorious
right,
movie.
goofy shit is gonna happen, and that's life.
And that's my way of thinking for anime and anime movies in general. Just because I love anime so much that I don't do anything while I'm watching it. Like I don't even eat while I'm watching anime, just because I don't want my attention to be taken anywhere else except for that. And that's why I remember so much stuff from anime. Maybe not the names, but
Names are
like,
the only thing I struggle with.
yeah, but that's the only thing I struggle with. Other than that, like I remember all the anime I watch, and I just love that type of stuff. Like the attention.
I guess with like the only time I've seen a movie or watched a movie and I've been like, all right, shut the fuck up, is like any movie like Star Wars, Marvel, going and seeing an anime movie. Any movie where something triumphant happens and the entire theater erupts and claps, fuck off. This is not the place for that. We're not watching a stage play.
Yeah.
They are not going to pause, let you get your applause out, and then continue again.
Yeah.
They're going to continue going. It's a goddamn movie. So while you're clapping,
I'm missing
in
out.
Japanese or in English, they are still talking,
They're continuing
and
the
you're
plot.
clapping over it. There's no subtitles.
Yeah.
I'm missing shit.
That's what people would always do whenever a big movie would come out. Like it just.
I refuse to see it. Like again, this goes back to last podcast. Not a big Marvel person, not a big Star Wars person, but if I'm going to see one of those, it's not going to be open night specifically because of that.
Yeah, because when the Star
Oh, I
Wars
feel that.
Force Awakens, when that first came out, when I was looking at the movie theater, every single showing, every single one,
You'd hear
right when,
clapping.
People
right when
erupted
you hear
during
the
the opening.
ba-da-na-na-na,
People
everybody was
erupted.
immediately like.
In that case,
Because
though,
I saw it on opening
You're
night, and that
doing
happened
the
where I went.
so with Star Wars, like for people that applause during that part, it's stupid.
Yes.
But it's not like it's not. They're not clapping over talking.
And when Carrie Fisher appeared again,
Then people, yeah.
yeah, people are like,
And the second she shows up, she's talking. You're clapping over her talking.
exactly.
I feel that.
That's not only rude to the performer, even though it is a movie. It's rude to everybody else trying to enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Not saying I'll ever have a feature-length movie or something made, but if I ever hear anybody clapping in my movie, I'll fucking kill them.
I would love. No, you know what?
Do not
If you ever make a movie, I want you to open up and say, "Do not clap during this movie." And then the first time something triumphant or whatever happens, where someone might clap,
Just flashed.
just no, just stop and look at the crowd. Give them a second, and then go back to what you were doing.
You have to be at every single showing, though. At
Every
single
showing,
stage.
I mean, that's...
You have multiple Skype calls in your house, and at the bottom of the movie, it's kind of like a YouTube Let's Play. You have his little face down there.
He's looking at
he's
you.
just straight faced the entire movie, looking at you.
All right, so we had we had some games we were putting pins in.
Oh, yeah!
Let's start with Overwatch.
Yikes.
I really enjoy Overwatch as a game. I like playing it. However, the community at times takes it weirdly serious. It's definitely one of my favorite shooters. It's kept my attention for a long time. But when people are like, I think this is bad, I'm like, you're right. I don't really defend it in that sense. But like a game where I can be, like a space cowboy or a healing DJ or a hamster. With a big mech, I'm down. It's pretty wacky.
I really like the culture surrounding it. That's why I like to collect the pop figures and some of the merch and stuff. I like that honestly more than.
You mean the in-game lore, not the culture around it?
The culture around it
Is a
would
solid
be
that's
sea of awful.
I'm more so
cringy
like the
fan
lore.
base.
That's the
Yeah.
lore's
Lore stuff's good.
The culture
Yeah.
around
World
the game is
building's
toxic.
good.
I think for me, me and Billy played the Overwatch beta when it first hit PS4 and things. We didn't have PCs, so we didn't get to hop in on those betas. So me and Billy hopped into those, and I was hooked immediately. And then, of course, that's when I was like, Billy, download this thing. It's free. Let's play it. Because at this point, Oliver didn't have a PS4. He was my roommate, but he didn't have a PS4.
This is back before there was any competitive mode. It was literally like when the game first came out, it was just quick play.
It was no limits quick play.
No limits quick play.
All Winston, baby. They don't call him Lewiston. That's the best team right there.
I remember 4th of July in 2016. I didn't have any plans, and Grant didn't have any plans. And for like a good couple hours, we just played as Soldier 76. And
Well, strap on the patriotic Soldier 76.
Yes. And then we just ran around yelling,
Patriotic.
we're all diamond dogs here.
Yeah, just Metal Gear Solid quotes at that point. No, so for me, it was one of those things. I was hooked from the beta. I bought the game. I pre-ordered it and bought the game.
You bought the game for me. You're the reason I played
I bought the game for you. I loved the game. I've dropped hundreds of dollars on loot boxes. I dropped
They got you.
a lot of money on merchandise. I donated to like the breast cancer campaign. They were
Get that
Got the
hottie
mercy
get that
skin.
mercy skin. I even got the shirt. But somewhere along the lines, and I of course everybody will pinpoint like just downfall of the game at Brigitte. But again, I was never huge in the competitive scene. So for me, it's just like somewhere along the lines, my brain said, you don't really like this anymore. And it could have been because of the hero imbalance that Brigitte created. And that's when I started to see like this weird, when I win, I'm mad that I won, or that I'm mad that it was that hard.
It just feels kind of
Or when I
broken.
lose, I feel like I was gypped.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even me being a sore loser. It's just like somewhere along. I won't even claim to be good at this game or bad at this game. I thought I was pretty run of the mill. Of course, gold was where I sat most of the time. And then like
skill out the window.
It's
Yeah,
because
skill
that,
out the
it's
window.
because that solid gameplay that they started with became unbalanced. When it becomes unbalanced, you just and they don't fix it for a very long time.
Well, there were a few updates in a row where they just constantly nerfed Mercy every update, and it was just there were characters that were already broken that they wouldn't touch, and characters that were right in the middle where they needed to be that
They would break.
I understand needing to change the meta to make people move out of their comfort zones and change the way the game plays, but it's like when you take a character that is already suffering because of your updates and you just make them worse and make them like just shit tier,
Well,
there's obviously something wrong with your team.
It was because, and on that, and I know too, like a lot of people have favoritism toward characters or like toward styles of play and stuff like that.
Was it Jeff that said like I never
So-
expected mains to be a thing, and it's like, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know why
it's
that
a
was.
game based around heroes. People are going to
Yeah.
find one kind of play style or a few.
One person in
One
general that
character
they like
that they
more.
just like
Stick to it.
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where like they saw statistics that like Mercy was being played a lot over everything else, and they were like, well, that doesn't seem fair. All of the healers should be good.
Well,
And
that
then
should have
they-
clicked
and-
into their
And
head
as
though.
they
that,
nerfed
like,
Mercy, they put in Brigitte, which they were like, this is a great healer, and then it obviously wasn't.
No.
Because in literally every semi-competitive scene, they were like, I don't know why she's in the healer slot, but this bitch slaps. And they threw her onto the DPS slot, and they were just like, oh, slapping 2 more healers, put the heavy-hitting tanks in, everyone run at that character.
It's
Well, and I
very weird that in the Overwatch League, their own esports, they have, teams have roles. And it's usually a 2-2-2 of some way. It's like 2 damage, 2 healer, 2 tank. It's a little weird when both damage go to a healer and a tank.
Yeah.
That's a fundamental sign of like something's wrong here, and they can't really fix it because the majority of the player base sits from bronze to gold, low platinum.
Yeah.
They fix things for the
esport.
1% of players, then it just shit just
Shit
falls
trickles
down
down.
the mountain, and it's all a terrible experience.
It shouldn't be to where one character
Dominates.
makes it to where the entire team has to put all their focus on making sure this character does not fuck up the game, compared to actually paying attention to their actual.
Yeah.
Me
objectives.
personally, like I said, I won't put it all on Brigitte. The same conversation was had even when or maybe I just felt it when Moira was added. Everybody was like, "Shut up! Stop playing Moira. Moira's garbage. She
Happened
just
with the rest of
does damage." Everybody bitches about a character when they first come out, and so maybe that's why when Brigitte first came out, and people were complaining. I was just like, "Y'all just suck. They'll fix her. Fuck off." But they just and they've nerfed her. Brigitte has been nerfed.
Yeah, 3 times. I keep up to
But
date.
she is still broken.
Yeah, she's still not playing the role they want her to play, because unless they do what they did with Torbjorn and Symmetra, which I think was very good for the game, because I might not have been playing since the beginning, but I've been playing since like May of 2 years ago now.
2017. The game,
Yeah.
right at the 1 year mark for the game.
Yeah, we're right at the 1 year mark of the game I started playing, and that's back when they had old Sim, they had old Torbjorn. It was still defense attack heroes, not just damage heroes. And like I thought the changes they did to Symmetra
What was that?
and
Was
Torbjorn,
that season 3? Season 4?
no, my first season was like 6.
Was
Oh
it?
yeah,
Okay.
and this is console Overwatch, not PC Overwatch.
Sorry.
Two
Well,
different- two
and,
different,
okay, so
things.
and to be fair, to put that out there, even so, shortly after I started to get burnt out on Overwatch, I actually got a gaming PC, and I thought to myself, okay, I'll try it on the PC, and it'll feel different, and the community will be different, and things will feel better. I'll even try the PTR where they're unrolling shit early, just to see if I even like the New Balances. No, like they put that out there, and I was still just every time I played it, I was like, this just feels bad. This just feels bad to me.
It's one of those things where like if you like playing competitively, which I feel like most people do to a certain extent, it's kind of a hard game to play how it was supposed to be played originally in a competitive sense, where like if it's like, oh, if you want a balanced team, 2 people play damage heroes, 2 people play healers, 2 people play tanks. There's some variation of that where you can go a solo healer with like an off tank and 2 off tanks and a tank, stuff like that. But like what I've seen really decline it is really that they added a hero that like no matter what they change, it's not changing the fact that hero gets played a lot, and she's not the first hero to do it. I won't put all the blame on Brigitte because like there's other stuff that's wrong. Brigitte just needs to be focused
like I said,
one way
other
or the
characters,
other. She
other
just
characters
hasn't
have
been
come
yet.
out
Yeah.
where people say like, oh, that sucks.
It's just the most notable example.
They can be fixed.
The character I'm about to talk about is an OG character character. Diva does everything you need her to do but heal. Diva destroys ultimates.
She has shields.
Diva
She eats ultimates.
Eats damage. Diva aggroes. She's defensive. She's mobile. She's beefy. The only thing if Diva had a passive healing, there would be no reason not to put her in every team that exists. And you don't talk about that because she doesn't heal, and because they've made other heroes that obviously kind of like at least screw with her a little bit.
Well, and people, there are some people that just genuinely don't like the way she feels.
Yeah,
Which
she's not as accessible. She's got a higher ceiling.
I mean, she's easily accessible. There are just some people that don't like the way they feel, and that puts that out there to where people play as her and they're like, I just don't have fun playing her, and that may be because she does too much. I don't know.
Another, just going back to it, it's like when they balance some heroes, they just ruin them for the majority of the audience. Like, I loved Doomfist.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, he is a little broken, but then they nerfed him a little bit and just completely bugged him out and made him unplayable to the normal player. And that was it. But then there was these high-tier Grandmaster top 500s that are doing ridiculous shit with them by exploiting map positions and map geometry to be like, oh, I'm up here somewhere no one can get, and I'm just going to get the jump on them. And Blizzard's just like, can't have that shit. We're going to nerf him again. And so basically, if you play Doomfist in any kind of like mid-tier setting, you just cannot.
And I think that goes for a lot of heroes where, like I said, they come out broken and then they fix it, or they think they fixed it and it's still broken. And that, I think, is what we have going on with Brigitte, where they say, okay, I think she's balanced now. She's not. She's not balanced at all.
And granted, to give some sort of leeway or credit, this kind of stuff is hard as a game developer. I'm in no way being like, oh, the game developers aren't trying to do their job, or they're not trying to fix something, or like, they obviously have goals, and I will say they do seem to cater to their esport, which I get. But at the same time, I feel like they are trying to like appease a fan base. They're just, and a lot of companies, and we can get into this in a minute, a lot of companies are trying to appease like the people that already like them.
You can't please everybody.
And are dropping flat on their face. Blizzard especially.
And we're not going to go further, but that's a good segue into the next pin, which is
Destiny.
My soft issue,
Oh,
Destiny.
Yeah. And we'll take a break.
So jumping back into the last pinned thing that I just put out there, Destiny is one of my favorite game series, and I hate myself for it.
Fair.
Destiny has had a very hard time at dealing with who they want to cater to. A prime example is the release of Destiny 2. It was very much a like casual, I hate the word casual, but it's the casual, like, yeah, come in here, get a story and leave. But the people who like made that series like stick around for so long was like the people who stayed and was just the hardcore fans that played nothing content for a year straight until something good came along.
Well, they put the story in a way to where they wanted you to get in and get out as the casual player, but then they complained that people weren't sticking around because the game has how many? Did they put a roadmap on this one like they did the first one, where they were like, it's going to be 9 years?
I mean, the whole franchise is supposed to last 10 years.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
But it's also, that was an Activision thing, and they're like, the part of that 10-year roadmap was new game every 3 years.
Yeah.
And since they're split, I think they're getting away from it. I think we're about to have this game for 3 years, or until the newest game is
done,
ready. Which that's why I put it in an honorable mention, is because I want to love this series. I've thought about for the longest time, Oliver could tell you, is like, I'm thinking about getting a Destiny tattoo, but man, it keeps hurting me.
Well, right now they've got.
Well, that's because tattoos hurt.
They've got content
Yeah, I
planned
got a couple
through
I
June
know.
and August.
Mm-hmm.
That's what their calendar is showing right now.
Yeah,
With the free seasons and annual pass stuff.
Well, yeah, they're doing the annual pack stuff with the. Is it part of Forsaken or is it a separate annual
so
pass?
it is on top of Forsaken. You
That's what I
must
thought.
own Forsaken to do it.
Forsaken is like the premium pass, the
Yes.
premium content.
Well, there's if you have Forsaken, you get all the free seasonal stuff, but then you also have to pay for an annual pass, which gives you extra stuff.
It's like a lot of people, like if you don't have the seasonal pass, you still get stuff like with the new seasons, but the annual pass holders get really the DLC side of it. And what I really just want them to do is just help them just tell themselves a better story without overblowing their marketing. It's just like the Forsaken launch. I'm not going to label this a spoiler because it's literally the marketing campaign of killing off one of the main characters that has been beloved for 4 years now.
They immediately showed it once they started like marketing it.
They blew the one surprise they had that would have made me a Destiny fuckboy who played the first game for not 1,300 hours, not 15, but 1,800 hours. If they just went off like new thing and just let people just walk right into it, because it starts out like every Destiny expansion does. It has a little bit of the quippy Marvel comedy that everyone loves from a certain character, and then if out of the blue he straight gets murdered and it sets off this revenge story that they've really set it up to be, that would have been a really memorable expansion for any games. But now they've really just blew their surprise.
They just went and spoiled it immediately.
You know, for the first Destiny, I really loved like the atmosphere of it, and I liked the gameplay of it when I first did the beta. That beta, I was like, dang, this game's really good. Then it came out, and I played the story, and then I was like,
Half of it wasn't.
Well, I was about to say the beta was a big chunk of just the campaign.
yeah, and I was like, there's nothing here for me to do anymore. There's no reason for me to stay.
Well, you got to play through that whole hour and a half of content and all of the what were they called? Like the little missions, just like the little fetch quest strikes. Is that what they are? You got to play through the same strikes and all that stuff just to get where you were all over again.
Yeah, and like I guess it just didn't really work out for me because I come from just like in a background of so many different MMOs where like grinding's my shit. Like grinding is my shit, and like you have to grind in Destiny, but I don't feel the rewards nice enough.
Yeah, it's not real. They haven't. Honestly, the Forsaken DLC, what they've done right is they did a complete 180 from the launch of Destiny 2, which was this is for the casuals. Come in, have a good experience, leave happy. Don't leave a negative reviews, please. I'll die.
They're worried about Yelp. They're a restaurant worried about Yelp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So now they've kind of honestly got a weird other problem where it's like, okay, this is too much. Like this is still not as rewarding, but it's double the grind. So, but I still think it's a little bit of Activision's like model. But now that they've stepped away, I'm hopeful. And what really bolstered my resolve for being hopeful was a part of Billy has the content like pulled up on like this the season they are in now is something surrounding completely like a vendor that we just like. He's called the Drifter. He's just a mysterious dude
That they're putting bad vibes
Yeah,
out
so,
there.
bad vibes.
So the way they've got it split up now, for anyone that doesn't know, is it's split into 3 different seasons. It was Season of the Forge, which is December through February. March through May is Season of the Drifter, which is where we are now. And then they have not released the name of...
It is Penumbra.
Okay, so this map's a little behind. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, June through August is going to be the next season.
But they have this. What has me hopeful for their storytelling is they had this new thing that they haven't done in their game before. It was called Allegiance Quest, where the good guys, the guys that you work with this whole time are called the Vanguard, and they're like, hey, can you you're like the God Killer. We don't talk about it that much, even though we should.
You're the God Killer that got us all of our powers back.
Yeah, can you
saved the planet?
That's
a
kind
whole
of really
other-
important, but anyway.
Yeah.
But we're not going to address that because
can we-
you're equal.
Can you look into this drifter, this weird guy that has this pretty dark, just game mode, and
This is the way.
What? Hold on, what?
You're so close to the mic that it just put a giant bar across the screen when you started talking, because when you lifted your head, you were like right there. Yeah.
Shit, sorry.
Okay. I was like, did I do it?
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I felt like I was that close earlier. That's why I was like,
But anyway, what you get is this. Once you get set on your way, it's just you do it in a day, which is the sad part of it. But at the end, you choose a side, and if you choose to not go, choose to go against them and kind of spy on them or whatever, you end up going to one of the patrol zones, that just one of those open world areas that you can and you're looking for audio files that the drifter leaves for an apprentice, which would have been you if you went on that storyline. And you learn through personalized audio logs that you go out and find yourself. They don't tell you where to find them. I mean, they give you an area of the map, but they don't give you any hints or anything. So there's that little bit of I found this. But they really fleshed out this character that I was like, it's just fucking snake in the grass dude. He's a sly fox. Fuck you. What are you gonna do? I'm not doing anything illegal.
Maybe.
And maybe people are dying in my game mode, but they're coming up willingly. I'm not a murderer. And it's just depending on what side of the coin you're on, those messages mean different things for you. And apparently they warn us every 8 times before we start. It's this will have consequences. So it leaves me hopeful that our choice will come back to haunt us or reward us based on what we did, because last audio thing is the next apocalypse is coming soon, and when it comes, you gotta ride on my ship if you're on that guy's side. And it's just I'm hopeful. I hope it goes into my top 5 soon. Because God, I've read every bit of lore about that game. That game world is cool as hell, but nothing's come forward because they've had to make these 2-hour-long DLCs where we kill literal gods.
I think my problem
with a gun
with getting into the lore of the game kind of goes back to shows like The Walking Dead, where at the end of every episode of The Walking Dead, when they do the Talking Dead, they say, well, what's going to happen next season, or what's going to happen next episode? And they're like, Rick totally loses it. He loses it this season. They say that every fucking season.
Yeah.
Destiny does the same thing.
Yeah.
You get done with something and they're like, something crazy is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then something tame happens. We've got a warlord, and he has his version of the same enemy we fought 15 times.
He's got an army.
And he's going to kick your ass. And then you effortlessly take him down via campaign, via a raid, whatever.
And then they never talk about
it.
And
then they show all right, you did that, and then like you said, they never talk about it. And then they say,
changes.
well, what's next time on Dragon Ball Z? They're fucking nothing's gonna happen next time either.
It's a thin dude, this thing's coming to fuck our shit. Can you help us? Yeah, said the silent protagonist.
It's a shonen anime.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not good. It's one.
But shit.
One of the biggest fuck yous to everybody was a DLC called Warmind. That straight has something called a worm god. That first of all, DLC, solid 5 missions.
It's
5,
cool. And they're all pretty
How much
similar.
did you pay for it?
They're all pretty similar.
How much was it originally?
15? Is that normally with the
$35 for a season pass that included 2 of them. So I guess 15 ish, and it did a lot of cool in-game stuff, not like cutscenes, like glossy cutscenes. It did a lot of like, this thing's a bad bitch. This thing's gonna fuck you up. And at one point, it just, as just like a warning, it like crushes you with glaciers and ice, and it's like, whoa, dude, and what's going on now? And the next cutscene is just like, oh, our boy's just climbing out, he's all right, and he's like, all right, time to go kill that thing. Next mission, we go, and I'm thinking, because there's a raid that came with that DLC, I'm like, this god raid material, 6-man team, crazy coordination, because God, man, those things got complicated.
Literally God.
Yeah. No. That mission, you kill him with a glowy stick.
Mm-hmm. And
It is
that's
a piece of machinery that is literally called a javelin because it is a javelin, and you throw it, and it's like stupid powerful for no reason, and then it's over.
It doesn't say anything about the javelin before in the lore. It just appears in this DLC.
They talk about it a little bit. It's the whole thing centers around this massive war computer that spans planets called a war mind, and he's been dormant for a while. And now he's not dormant, and the Vanguard wants to kill him because he's dangerous.
Yeah, because he's evil,
So-
maybe.
It's like you can't control
He's too
him.
strong.
And the campaign ends with you guys face to face with this Warmind entity with this. It has this big booming Russian robotic voice that another character that's advocating for him to help us out, just translating while he's saying it in the background. He says some ominous shit like, I have no equal. I am my own entity, and
And
I
then they're
make
like-
my own choices. And then it's like
Well,
this-
that sounds spooky.
it's got this like big swell, and then one of the stoic, one of the members of the Vanguard is like, "What have we done?" It has like this big, dramatic boom, cut to black title card. I'm like, "Holy shit! Can't wait to see what comes next." Nothing comes next.
The promise that never
It's
comes.
over. The raid, completely unrelated. And honestly, the best story, I guess, Destiny's ever had is only special to some people. It's like, it was
In what way?
It was the Taken King.
Mm-hmm.
In the first year of Destiny 1, it had like a raid called Crota's End.
Yeah.
You go there to kill Hive Jesus.
Hive Jesus?
Yeah, just alien Jesus. And then it's like, alright, cool, did that. Our universe is saved. Boo-boo-boo. Then a year later, Jesus had a dad, and he's a god. And he's like, I'm coming back for you, boy.
Well, yeah, Jesus does have a dad. You ever read the
Fuck
Bible?
you, I am a god, I'm gonna get you. And then you spend this whole campaign, lengthy, like 20 mission campaign, getting to him. And instead of killing him, he has the ability to like take enemies and make them under his control. He takes himself and just kind of disappears, and we have to go in and
He, like,
kill him
chases
in
boys.
the raid in his like final form, where he is like 300 feet tall, and he's just a
So
massive
it's-
god entity.
So it's not like a fast-paced fight. It's just like a giant fight.
And it
you
took months to like get this story arc done, and it was good. Had side stuff, best thing. They haven't really touched that since. Hopefully they have more of it. I've been talking for a long time.
Yeah, Destiny.
We got a lot to rant about.
Destiny is a big thing for you, and I feel like you're definitely the biggest advocate of it at the table, just wanting it to be good and it not being that great because of, maybe
Forces beyond you.
You know, it should be
certainly.
good.
It should be.
It has the potential.
It has no excuse to be this this way.
Like the
Yeah.
gameplay is solid. Really, Destiny's gameplay is.
What was the tagline?
Finish the fight.
Become legend.
No. The tagline for like
27.
it's like the hottest 4 out of something.
Gaming's
or whatever.
hottest 7 out of 10.
Gaming's hottest 7 out of 10. Yeah. Because like I never had really played it much, and then like it was like in the news, in the video gaming news, it was just like, this game is shit, but everyone loves playing it, and it's like, what? And like,
Well, and games like that are the reason that games like The Division and
Looter shooters.
Well, now Anthem, games like Destiny are the reason those games don't get excuses anymore.
Yeah.
Is because Destiny does it first, and they fuck up first, and then other games come along and fuck up, and people are like, why didn't you learn from this other fuck up?
yeah, why didn't you watch?
Your competitor.
Yeah.
You should know, like, oh, our competitor did this, people hate it, let's not do that. But then they do the same shit.
If not worse.
If not worse.
Look at Anthem. Anthem
is doing...
It's
doing garbage, but again, it's because people don't forgive it.
Sucks
People will forgive
because
Destiny
I
because it's
wanted
the
to
first
like
time.
Anthem.
Yeah, I wanted to like Anthem too.
I didn't trust Anthem because it was the exact same story, like beat by beat, that Destiny had. Not plot-wise, but like development cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, before the release, like 3 months, the writer left. Oh no!
Well, not only that,
woo.
the writer had left, the like team lead or whatever, Chris, or no, not Chris. Might have been Chris. I don't know.
Fucking Chris.
Is
We
that
know
him?
it wasn't Chris.
No, it's like, I can't remember. It might not be Chris.
Okay.
It's someone that the first time I heard the name, I was like, that's a girl, and then I found out it's a dude. Anyways, he left, came back, and then
Chris a girl name?
or
Sorry.
no, it might have been his last name that was like
Okay.
a girl name or something. I don't know. But again, the first time I heard his name, I thought it was a girl. But like he was on the team, and then he left, and then he came back, and then he left, and then he came back.
10-year plan.
Well, and according to BioWare, they've been wanting to do this game since they first signed on with EA. That was in the 90s.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you've had this idea for a game since the 90s, and then you announced it. They talked about this game
20 years later.
2012 or something. Didn't have a name in it. You know, originally they had called it Code Dylan. It was under the code name Dylan. You know why they called it Dylan?
Why?
Because it was going to be the Bob Dylan of video games.
Were you talking about their lead writer leaving?
Yeah. What's his name?
It's like Drew Karpshin or something.
No,
Karpshin?
again, it's a girly name.
No. It's
Fumbletina.
Genuinely, like it was a name that like
Tatiana.
I heard it and I was like, oh, they had a girl talking, and it might have literally only been a PR person, but it was, huh?
Their lead animator also left at one point.
Anyways, a game that had been talked about in 2012 had been planned 20 years ago almost. Should have not been this case to where like, because I think they only developed the game in like a 2-year span.
yeah.
Anthem was made and put out in 2 years.
I feel like a lot of times they just put that number out. It's like,
That's only a little
It's like
before
we've
Destiny 2.
yeah, it's like we've been working on this for 20 years. It's a plan that's been honed and refined for 20 years.
They
but
do
in
that to make
reality-
it sound good.
Yeah, but in reality, oh shit, what's this in the back of the filing cabinet? Project Dylan, what the? This is Destiny. People
Yeah.
like Destiny. Holy
Look
shit.
up that quote. Look up the Bob Dylan of video games, because
Yeah,
that person is the one that I'm talking about.
That really makes me laugh. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean.
It's supposed to be so good that you think about Bob Dylan. I don't
Who the
fucking
hell is
know.
Bob Dylan?
You know who Bob Dylan is?
No.
He's a musician.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
I'm not
well,
not that I like
It's
Bob
not something that you
Dylan.
really need to know.
I mean,
It's like
he's
something that
just-
people in the
he's
music
just-
industry
But that's
need
what
to
I'm
know.
saying, though. I mean,
No,
they're.
before anything.
I mean, it's not like they said it's the Beatles of video games.
Ooh.
That would have been. a
Bob
fun-
Dylan's a pretty famous songwriter
Yeah.
/ musician, but it's whatever.
But
Yeah,
anyways,
he had a couple good songs.
He had the fact that I had to learn him in a music history class. Like, he's pretty.
I think
inspired some
Anthem's
people.
original code name was Dylan.
yeah.
And it's because they wanted to make the Bob Dylan of video games, one that would be referenced for years to come. That's probably true, but not in the way they wanted it to be.
Anyway, yeah, but Destiny, honestly, from an outside view, or from like a not so, from being friends with someone who was really into it and who was like, yeah, I'll get into this. I've played Bungie games before. This should be neat. Destiny 1, I was kind of vaguely dragged through, and it felt like a weird DLC, or not DLC, but weird beta fever dream, where I didn't really understand why all this was happening, but all of a sudden my character was like
God,
killing it. Just massive entities and like saving worlds.
There's literally a scene in the first game where they're like, I could explain to you this, I could explain to you this, but I'm not gonna. And then they just send you to kill more things.
And well, the first game leaned too much on the whole grimoire thing in general,
I feel like in
which
general,
some people liked.
Nah.
Some people.
It's like people tried to like. It's like Dark Souls. It's like how they did it. I'm like, no.
You can't
people.
compare those two.
I think it's. I'm going to get into this for just a second.
This is a little different.
Exactly. Dark Souls doesn't have a campaign.
I'm going to get into this for
does.
just a minute. This is a separate rant from the Destiny one. And I know it's not a hot take. Can we stop comparing shit to Dark Souls?
It's the Dark Souls of video games.
It's the Dark Souls of lore, I guess,
Dark
is
Souls
what
of
Destiny
platformers, that is
is.
copyed.
It's the Dark Souls of consoles because it's on the same console and it is a game.
Like any game that is increasingly difficult is compared to Dark Souls.
People
for some
compared
reason.
the remake of Crash Bandicoot to Dark Souls.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
People compared Cuphead to Dark Souls. Those games couldn't be farther apart.
So difficulty equals
Dark Souls.
There were hard games before Dark Souls was even an idea.
Again, the only thing I can think of is like it's hard just to be hard. It is hard to challenge you, and that is it. But that does not link it anything to
if we're
that
gonna
credence.
if we're gonna compare games because of difficulty, we could also just be like, it's the Contra of video games, because Contra is also known for just being excruciatingly hard. Like,
and I don't know. We can
the
get down this
Battletoads
rabbit
of-
hole. We can get down.
It's the Battletoads.
No one compares it to Battletoads, and that game was literally impossible when it first came out.
it's still kind of impossible.
No, it's possible now. They fixed it for the rare collection on the
okay.
Xbox. They were like, we're gonna put it on there because people make the joke, but we're gonna make it beatable. And I don't know. We don't got to go down this rabbit hole. It's just something that I've seen a lot lately with Sekiro.
Sekiro is
made
Dark
by the same
Souls.
people.
They are no. It's separate thing.
Sekiro is
I'm talking
Dark
about where
Souls
people are
of
saying
software.
this game's too hard. Add an easy mode.
No.
They are
What
demanding.
is that even?
They are
Okay,
demanding
so
there
a-
to be an easy mode in these
A
games.
lot of people are arguing that
Difficulty isn't fun.
Well, it's for accessibility reasons.
No.
No,
That's what
well,
they wound up. That's what they wind up relying on when you back them into a corner.
Exactly.
When you
But-
back them into a corner, they're like, "Oh, but the handicapped need to be able to play this game." They are.
That would that
I
wasn't originally
follow
part of the
several. I follow several people on Twitter that are handicapped. I mean, they have been their entire life. They make the games accessible to themselves. Though, again, it's probably harder, and it takes more configuration. But they're playing it and they are beating it. I mean, fuck. Dark Souls is a game that has people beating it on Guitar Hero controllers and on Rock Band drum sets.
Yeah, I know that.
Games don't have to be accessible to everyone. You have if you're
Every
if
game
you're-
is accessible.
If you're
You
aiming
just have
for,
to try.
If you're aiming for a core audience and it manages to get like alienate some people, then obviously that game's not for them.
And here's the thing.
You can play any game if you really want to.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you
I mean,
really
there's
want to get
handicapped
into
people.
That's not even just video games. That's like any sport,
Mm-hmm.
any analog game, any game. If it's a game, you can play it.
If you want to know about that game, you want to know about the story and all that stuff, you want to see everything about it, there's a whole industry for it. It's called fucking YouTube.
Let's
And
plays.
people, yeah, exactly. People don't understand that you can just watch somebody do it if you want to know the story.
If
of
that's
it.
all you care
That's
about.
what I do
Yeah,
with horror
exactly.
games. I don't like
It's
playing
like,
them.
Here's the thing though. What gets me with this is, again, it always comes out to where, like, what if I want to experience it, but it's too hard for me? Like you said, let's
You're
play.
experiencing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're experiencing it.
It's hard.
It's fucking hard.
And not everyone can play those super difficult games. Like,
I mean, do you play Dark Souls at all, Jared?
I played Bloodborne, a little bit of Demon Souls, and
But have you beat any of those?
them, no.
Okay.
But I've watched all
And
the
no
way
one
through every
else at this
single one.
table has.
Like
No.
And I'm not gonna say like I'm a better gamer than you guys because I've beat a Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Y'all are, I mean, Oliver and Giles genuinely probably better than me at fucking Overwatch and other games.
It's
It's
my
it's
style of
not
game.
your game.
I
not my
respect
style of
those games on a
platform
higher
design.
level. Just like it's like I will never play those games, but I think they're beautiful. I think they're very well made, and they're really fucking cool.
And
here's
the
the
lore
thing.
seems neat.
Here's the thing. If you could take Dark Souls, if you could take Bloodborne, if you could take Sekiro, and say, put it on easy mode, and blast through it, the game would suck shit.
Mm-hmm.
The game's, honestly, the controls and the way things are in general, I'm not going to say is great. Like, the game is hard because there are flaws.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not the entire game, and the entire game is not, like, flawed as a whole, but there's little things like some hitbox issues that I hit every now and then, you know what I mean?
And
Yeah,
a
like
lot of people just aren't used to the fact that FromSoft does a thing where they're like, we're just gonna make it to where enemies don't naturally like work the way that other enemies in all other games work. It's like this enemy might swipe this one time, and you might be like, oh, I can get him after this one, but he might swipe 3 fucking times this time, and maybe once he hits you these 2 times, it might start a system to where he's like, okay, time to hit the fucking combo on you.
Well, here's the thing.
They may never use that attack again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem I had. I was in a point in Sekiro today where I'm near the end of the game, and I was at a boss who I started to like get confident in. I was like, okay, I'm learning this pattern. I just got to be patient, but I can get him in a pattern, and I can get him down eventually. Might take a minute doing it this way instead of like trying to just balls to the wall hit him and blah blah blah, be aggressive. But I've got him in a pattern, and I can beat him this way. He starts pulling things out that I've never seen. He starts pulling things out that I'm like, you can do that? You can deflect that? You can shoot that at me? What are you talking about? Like, and that's the thing. When that starts to happen and you finally do beat him, the game isn't good because you beat the enemy. The game is good because you are triumphant when you do the shit. Like, if you were to play Dark Souls and it had an easy mode, you would just kill things and you would say, this game is nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit it, it's dead. I hit it, it's dead. I hit it, it's dead.
Yeah, if everything
There's
were
no
easy.
story.
Mm-mm.
I mean, there's like, you get your tasks and there is a lore and there's a thing. But like, just playing the game itself, you're not going to get a story. You're going to get an item and then you're going to go here and you're going to put the item down. Kill.
Yeah,
kill,
it's
kill.
like Dark Souls connection, like with its community is like it's kind of like Borderlands. Like, oh, you ever get that gun to drop for you randomly?
Yeah.
And they can talk about RNG all day, but with Souls fans, they're like, dude, you remember that boss? And the other person's like, fuck yeah, I fucking hate that dick.
What I think is crazy about that too is like, I might have a problem with one boss. I talk to somebody and I'm like, that boss fucking sucked. And I'll talk to them and they'll be like, dude, I didn't have a problem with that, but I had a problem with this. And I'll be like, oh, see, that dude was easy to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different because different people play different. And it's, again, if the game was easy, there would be nothing that makes the game stand out. The thing that makes it stand out is beating the boss. Finally getting... And that's why I said... You good?
Sorry. I started looking the inner part of my thigh. I was like, oh god.
And I'm Bramble, got it. I was like, what's Bran doing to the inner part of your thigh?
Just going.
I'm just licking, dude.
Just searching.
With my second tongue.
No, but fucking... It's just one of those things where, like, yeah, I mean, once you beat the boss that you've been struggling with for an hour, it's like, I beat that boss that I was talking about today, and I fucking roared.
Which one was it?
It was, I can't tell you. Just the fact that the boss is there is a spoiler.
I roared.
I
That's my
roared.
favorite.
I shit you not, I beat him, and I just let out a roar.
Oh, man.
It's kind of like the same. I've bring it a little back to Destiny. I think it's where it shines is its raids.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you a good raid is like you get to that boss and the mechanics are all fucky because you got to do something fucky because it's just a shooter. And whenever you finally like DPS that boss down, and it's like that, they like to do these like final stands moment where the health bar is empty, but this boss is doing like this wipe mechanic that can just end your team and send you back to the beginning of the encounter. And whenever you beat it, it's just this big like endorphin of 6 people just going like, fuck,
And
finally.
I will say, you know, with Sekiro specifically, like, that one does have a story. because there's no multiplayer and because they wanted that to be something, they put that up front.
Mhm.
So the story is actually all there in this particular game.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I feel like, you know, that feeling of triumphance, that feeling of like accomplishing something transcends video games in general, and goes into like if you got everything you wanted all the time, like nothing would be cool, kind of stuff.
I think
like,
what gets me with this like difficulty conversation is that it for me comes down to things like, oh man, that RPG looks like a lot of fun and I think I'd enjoy its story. I'm not going to play it though because it's an RPG. Maybe they should make it a shooter and I'll play it. I mean, yeah, fucking adding an easy mode completely changes the way they made the game. Just for you saying, I want to enjoy that, change it for me.
Yeah, a lot of, like, most of the time From Software goes in with their games with the intention of it just being really hard.
Yeah, not every game is for everybody.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no game. And I think the conversation is just, it is the ultimate conversation of entitled gamer. Like, it's the epitome of, I'm an entitled gamer, why isn't this game for me? Wah. And it bugs me.
Yeah,
it's just the current thing going on. We had the same conversation when Cuphead came out. Cuphead was the same stuff where people were like, it's too hard.
Yeah,
It wasn't made for you.
one game I can, like, that I've ever, like, described as the Dark Souls of anything is honestly when I was describing, like, Monster Hunter combat and kind of like how
it's got a similar combat style.
Yeah, it's like got a similar combat style, and whenever a monster can give you trouble and you can change up the way you play, and the feeling of beating that Toby Kadashi for the first time with a hammer is very satisfying.
I think in
personal story.
I will say games like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, Neo, Lords of the Fallen, The Surge, all those are Souls-esque. And what Monster Hunter even has in common with that is the game, there's not a difficulty level. Nope. It is the same thing. It is get good. And I don't even use that as an insult. It's with anything, you get better with practice. That is those games. If you want to be good at them, keep playing, you get better.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like...
helps out a little bit more than Souls, because you're... Like, you beat it once and you make something out of it.
Monster Hunter's easier.
You get a little bit better. You get better stuff. You get stronger, but you also get smarter. And it's like, oh, I learned... Like, Toby Kadashi was the first monster that ever, like, made me mad. Because I was using
using a slow weapon.
A big, heavy hammer while this tree lizard, it was just jumping back and forth between trees. I'm like, get down here. And when I finally slugged it out for 54 minutes,
so literally
it finally died.
Like a minute before time was about to expire.
See, Kush is the one that pissed me off the most. Just because it is the most annoying, stupid fight in the entire world. It got to the point where, like, in the beginning, I literally ran out of time. 2 times in a row. Wasted like an hour of my life fighting this stupid dragon. And the other one that I hated was that I'm not going to say the word, but Lunestra. I hated her.
Oh,
I hated her. It's so stupid. Like, her super... move that just destroys the entire area.
Oh, the lion.
It was just stupid. The fact that I had to find out that, if you do your little leap of faith thing, you can cheese it and it doesn't hurt you if you keep spamming that. You shouldn't have to do that.
I mean, honestly, I like that fight a lot more because it made me change the way, like, if you go into Lunestra fight without heat guard, you're stupid.
You learned that though.
Yeah.
So you learned that. That is something you learned how to use even, and that is what those games are about. Is you evolved as a gamer.
Yeah.
That made you better at that game when you learned how to use that ability.
And at one point, a Nergigante, like his dive bomb move, and I was like, I've been using nothing but hammer up until that fight. I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore. I need something. And I looked up videos from the community and I saw something that changed my gameplay forever after that. Is you want to say fuck you to every monster attack ever, Lance, and I've just being able to just tank the monster's ultimate move and not lose any health is just like the biggest power fantasy. I evolved and I beat that game.
You got good.
I got good.
And one thing about that Linestra fight, it does become more tolerable once you're not fighting her in the arena that you have to fight her in person just to fight her anywhere
That's
else.
just not fair.
Because it's not fair.
Yeah, that fight's stacked
There's nowhere to
against you.
escape.
That fight is stacked against you on purpose.
Yes, and it is ridiculous to the point where you guys beat it like super quick.
What
compared to
weapon were
me.
you using?
no.
I was using Insect Glaive.
You shouldn't have had a problem, man.
I know.
Like, you stay off the ground.
Her tail is like 5 miles long, and her hitbox is 20 more miles long.
Again, I feel like it.
That's another game, though. That the story isn't there. It's just the gameplay.
It's just fighting.
It's a background.
It's a grind game. Definitely.
Literally, the game. Every single Monster Hunter is. You are the guy that helps us do research by killing things we want to research. That's all of the games.
Or like, hey, this
or the village is
monster's-
under attack.
This monster's really fucking up our trade route. Can you go stop it?
But there's not like a real story to them. And if the monsters were easy, like, oh, I can see their health bar and I killed it after like 5 minutes of fighting it, that game would not be fun.
Granted, some people turn it into a really easy game by exploiting certain parts of the game.
Yeah, and don't get me
But
wrong.
that's just like learning the game and getting
That's
better
getting
at it.
good.
And that's like...
That's
and
becoming...
Yeah. Also, it just also makes it's the difference in like...
Tase.
What's wrong with that?
I'm sorry, alright? Just please forgive me.
Yeah, that's the kind of the difference in like someone who's a pro in a competitive game and someone who's just like even like not
Playing
so,
casually.
Like there's just like things you learn. Like there's things pro players in competitive games and esports learn, the like tactics they use and stuff like that. Like they stay on top of how the game works, so they're better at it than other people. And like it to be like, oh, this game should be just straightforward and easy for everybody is kind of it's a very, I agree, it's a very entitled way to look at it. And you wouldn't really look, and if you do look at it that way with other things in your life, you're probably not having a good time, because like you wouldn't expect to like I don't know, like go to the gym and all of a sudden like one time and all of a sudden like you look different. Or like,
I can't even imagine many games that have like a difficulty setting that like aren't shooters. Maybe some RPGs have that element, but like
Skyrim had one, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not,
did it have a difficulty setting?
It's
a
hidden.
lot of RPGs do.
A lot of
Skyrim's
RPGs.
difficulty is hidden.
You're talking Bethesda. What other RPGs can you think of that have that setting? Genuinely, I'm
Doesn't
curious.
Dragon's Dogma have it?
I've not played Dragon's Dogma, but
Dragon
that one isn't that one
Age does,
some?
doesn't it?
Yeah, Dragon Age does. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so a lot of
Dragon
the
Age.
Western
Western.
RPGs.
Yeah, Dragon's
Okay.
Dogma.
I was about to say, I'm thinking like JRPG,
Well, no, that's-
Final
that's-
Fantasy, things
to,
like
to
that.
jump
That's
into
where
that a little bit, that is kind of a cultural difference thing. Like,
oh yeah, I mean that goes back to like Mario.
Their games are harder.
Well, that goes back to like
Yeah.
Mario. When Mario 1 was it Mario 2 that we didn't get here because they were
yeah.
like
No, they
Western.
made it into a Lost Worlds thing.
Yeah, but like
They made it
here
into a thing.
they were just like, don't put that here. That's too hard for the Western.
Because
audience.
for a lot of-
and then they released it later on. But at first they were like, we can't have this be a main title.
For a lot of Japanese games, I remember reading an article where some of them, the normal mode on the Japanese game is what they use as a hard mode in Western games.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
the game Catherine does that.
Yeah.
Like that puzzle game that's also very lewd.
Yeah, baby.
Wait till September for the remake. I think. Or is it August?
There, you can play on the hardest difficulty, but the hardest difficulty is just the difficulty for the Japanese release of that game. Like there's no hard mode because the game is that way.
And I think that's even entitled, and that just may be the Western audience. Maybe that is the Western audience where they're just like, Western people just want it to be easy.
Hard games are for weebs.
I do understand with a game that is like notoriously hard, or like you literally just want to play it to enjoy it. I did with like Metro because I want to play Exodus, but like I was just like, I'm just gonna play these games on
Kind of
normal.
depends on the kind of game you're playing too. I feel like just to an extent. Like if you're playing a game that's kind of like R.I.P. Telltale, like a.
Do those have difficulties?
I'm not saying they do, but like a game.
But that's all story.
A game I'm thinking about where it's like mostly story, and you're just kind of making decisions to the story.
Mhm.
Like
Or you're interacting with.
There's not a lot. There's not like boss battles and stuff like that. It's just kind of like interacting with stuff.
Well, and that's
like Detroit.
Yeah.
Love that game. Good game.
Well, and that's what I was saying with like Metro. I just wanted to know the story before I got into Exodus. And the gameplay isn't that great anymore, so I was like, I'm just gonna play through this normal. I'm gonna enjoy the story, and I'm gonna get through it. And I get that, but I wouldn't have been mad going in and then being like, there's only one difficulty, and that's it. I wouldn't have been like, come on, where's my easy mode?
Yeah, I've never like picked up a game. Well, the game I did pick up and I was like, this probably just isn't for me, is like Bloodborne and Dark Souls, because I've tried them both, and I was like, ooh, no.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
I
That's
guess
fair.
not.
But
I
you
never
But
thought
you
to
decided
myself,
that
yeah.
it was.
I never thought to
just not your
myself,
thing.
I wish this was just easier.
You'd probably like.
Yeah,
skip
if there's a game that I know that like it's just not for me, I'll go watch it. I just
and that's all it takes.
yeah, exactly.
But it's the fact that there is even a debate going on right now and people are pissy about it is just ridiculous.
Anyway, there any? I can't think of any off the top of my head that I'm actually. Well, besides the expansion for Monster Hunter Iceborne, that expansion, there's nothing I'm really too terribly excited about that's coming in the horizon.
I'm excited about the remake of Catherine. That's coming out, I think, either August or September.
It's September.
Is it September?
Yeah,
That's what I
September
thought.
3rd. I know it's probably good 2 years off or so, but I am on the hype train for Cyberpunk 2077.
I don't know. I'm excited for that one, but they keep releasing more and more. I could see this E3 them giving it at least a release window.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it may be a
It might be
PS5,
next. Yeah, it might be
gen
next gen.
Xbox
I can see that.
game.
I'm excited for that one too.
Well, apparently, CD Projekt Red also has another game in development that they're keeping secret. So, Cyberpunk 2077 may be a current gen thing, and the game they haven't talked much about may be next gen.
I'm ready for Borderlands 3.
Absolutely.
I think that'll be. Have you been playing 2 again, Giles?
I have.
Fucking play with us, you dumbass. We bought that literally like, who wants to play with us?
what
And you were
level
like,
are you?
not me.
8.
Yeah, so you're about a little behind us. We're like
Yeah.
level 12 or something.
You're really close to 15 or 16.
Play with us.
I was
We
just-
were literally like, play or get it with us, and you were like, no.
I've had it for a while.
What the fuck? I asked if you had it, and you were like, no.
I thought. I mean,
cleaned his room
granted,
and I
it's
found it.
a.
Oh, okay, you found it for him. Okay, fair enough.
I thought I had it
True
digitally.
story.
Looked at my digital library. Oh, I guess I don't have that game. Weird.
Found it physically.
Yeah, found it behind my entertainment system that I don't.
Since we were talking
mess
about the
with.
looter shooter genre earlier, I think Borderlands does it very well.
So in playing Borderlands 1 and 2, I will say it's a little lonely, the open world. Maybe I'm spoiled by like Destiny and things like that for that reason. But yeah, I think it does it pretty good.
Before we get into this Borderlands tangent real quick, one game that I'm really, really, really looking forward to is the game called Sable. But I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. It was on
Sable?
E3 and stuff. But it's like
Is it a
really,
JRPG?
it's certain. I kind of like an adventure game.
Because like I have an image in my head, but I don't know.
It's like a really unique art style, and the soundtrack was done by Japanese Breakfast.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm already excited for that.
Yeah, I want to play it so bad. It looks so good.
Like, is there lyrics to the music, or is it? Just...
Yeah.
Something.
Fuck.
Don't know
that
what we're
I'm-
talking about.
Something I'm really looking forward to because. Well, I have 2 games I'm looking forward to. One is coming whenever
It's
the
not
fuck
JRPG.
that gets
Yeah, it's
here,
just-
and that's Elder Scrolls 6. Hopefully they don't goof it up.
I'm not excited for it.
Hopefully they don't goof it up.
I'm excited for it because
I'm
I
mad at
think they
Bethesda.
will goof it up.
Mm.
I'm really mad at Bethesda. Their engine hasn't changed since, what is it, Oblivion?
Probably, yeah.
So it has not changed in way too long.
Like
Yeah.
10
And they've not
that's over 10 years,
talked
yeah.
about a new engine.
Yeah,
Not to say
but
they have to
It's
for
like
it to be
they
on
didn't
one.
even give the. I feel like if Bethesda was to make a new engine and be like, "This is our restart point," I think it would be the Elder Scrolls 6.
I
Well, I think
You
it
would
would
hope
be
so.
too. You would hope.
You would
so.
hope so,
I thought it would have been Skyrim.
and it's gotta be.
Thought it would have been Fallout 4.
I thought it would have been Fallout.
I
4
want it
too.
to be slightly broken because that's like
Yeah.
that's
No.
To me, that's the fun of the Skyrim. I mean the Elder Scrolls type game.
So
Yeah.
the reason I do not want that is because we have been giving them a pass for far too fucking long.
Because of the engine.
Because we say, oh, it's funny, and we expect that in the next game. Well, then they don't fix their shit, and then we get a broken game, and then we're mad about it.
I'm hopeful, but I don't expect anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, if I got another Skyrim that was, I mean, it might look pretty, it might run on the same Skyrim engine, but I mean, I'll have fun.
You'll
with
play it at the end of the day.
Yeah, but and then another one that I'm looking forward to that I know is gonna be good because the last one was fucking really good. Was I want God of War 5.
God of War 5 will be great, and I am in no rush.
I want to see that story continue because it didn't have a massively climactic ending, but it felt like
it's a build up to a new generation.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Story. Like there wasn't a whole there's a lot of lore in 4, obviously, but they didn't really give you a whole lot of that. Like you didn't come across a whole lot of gods.
There was a lot of build up. It's a lot of build up. It's establishing a
but
relationship.
the ending is the ending of that game.
Scene.
Yeah, the ending of that game, without spoiling anything, it just sets everything up. Like the next game, shit's gonna kick off.
It basically just sets it up for part 2 of what is that?
Last of Us?
No, realm of what's that realm of?
Norse
Norse, yeah.
Norse mythology.
Part 2 of Norse mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And if they keep going past Norse and they start going into the Egyptian and
I
Japanese
will say I don't want that to be the main plot. I don't want... if they do it, if like they cameo into a couple other ones, fine. But if they're just like, okay, now we're done with Norse, let's go to Egypt, it's just going to be like, all right, so we're just keeping these games alive just to milk them.
Well, it only has 4 universes that they were talking about in... That God of War.
Didn't they talk about Egypt and Japan?
Yeah, it's only the 4. So like, if they do the other ones, I'm fine with it because I'm the way that they're doing the Norse one right now. I feel like they could do the other ones.
If they okay, so say this next game they kill off the sun. Say they do. Say they do, and then Kratos moves on to his next pantheon. What the fuck is he going to do then? Have another son and be mad again? How long can you keep this going?
He's just a mad man. That's like literally all his like character arc is.
But I don't want that to be it.
I don't want that either.
I straight thought you were like he kills the sun.
No.
Like the S-U-N.
Not Matarasu. He kills
not the fucking celestial body.
I've
of the
eaten
sun.
the fucking sun.
Yeah.
With no spoilers, I really think at one point God of War could transfer over to the boy.
No, I think so too. I think they'll kill off Kratos. And again, I don't
the cartoon racist Mario.
Kratos'
I just don't want it. I don't want it to become
this.
It doesn't need to
these
go
kooky hijinks through the rest of the pantheon because that's
just for the sake of it.
Then it just becomes like Assassin's Creed, where we're just having like, next we're gonna do Egyptian, and then next we're gonna do Greek. And I think now, like as of recently, they announced or they've hinted at they're doing Norse next. Which fuck it, right?
Vikings.
Assassin's Creed is dead in my opinion.
Assassin's Creed's been dead, my man.
So hey,
it's been dead since like Unity.
We kind of touched on it a little bit before, but we were talking about we talked about how Bungie and has kind of been disappointing, and how Blizzard has been kind of dropping the ball a little bit.
Bethesda's been disappointing.
And Bethesda's been dropping. Like
BioWare has been disappointing. I really.
Why do you think we're in this realm where like game companies just start fumbling this
greed,
much?
microtransactions? If they can get you to buy something, that's great. But right now we're seeing a rise.
Just pissing into the wind.
Right now we're seeing. I do, and I think right now we're seeing a rise in free-to-play games because microtransactions are becoming the thing.
Yeah,
I think part of it may also be just that that a lot of these bigger companies were praised for so long, and we kind of ignored, like with Bethesda, we ignored the fact that their systems were, that their engine was failing. Basically, it was all glitchy and everything. We laughed about it, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have to worry about that now.
We don't have to put any work into it."
So now everyone is finally everyone is now being picky enough to where these big.
Like when you start to expect
glitches
and glitches happen, they say we don't need to fix that.
These big companies got a big head, and now everyone
and a little body
and small arms,
little T-Rex arms,
big feet though,
big brown teeth,
I think
1 inch long piano-sized teeth.
It just comes with greed and age, honestly.
I think why they're falling flat on their face is those people that they've been able to just like facially like scam and be like, all right, I mean, you'll buy it, fuck you, bye, is that the audience that they're selling to now has a voice that demands to be heard. Like, my favorite story from 2018 was one of the battlefields being, like, everyone's like, that's not fucking right. And it's like, don't buy it. Don't buy, bruh. And then it's like another caption of like the same like news place. It's like, this Battlefield worst selling in the series.
Yeah,
and
so,
it's like, all right,
so,
yeah, man,
so with
fuck
Battlefield
you,
5, I think like what you're referring to is when they had the
female
the all
soldier.
female squad, and one of them had like
an
a
arm.
prosthetic arm, and like there was like a claw arm, and
I think
companies are just getting so big they think they can do what they want without any sort of retaliation, and I think the past 2 years has kind of shown that.
we're seeing companies like Capcom.
Yeah, I was about to say, because Capcom's a big company.
Capcom's a
I don't
big
feel like
company.
they're doing that. What's the difference?
Well, so Capcom was a company that did really bad for like the beginning. I'd say 2010 era there, the 2010s. They were doing a lot of things that their fans were like, that's super shitty. They're putting out fighting games with like half a roster and saying, pay for the rest. They still do that same shit with Street Fighter, where they're just like, we're going to put out like the main characters, and then charge you for anything else. Costumes, anything. Capcom was getting in a lot of trouble for that stuff. And then like here recently, I don't know, maybe it is a Japanese thing just to be like, we don't want to have a bad name in that sense. I mean, no one wants to have a bad name.
Yeah, reputation is important, certainly.
But I
feel like maybe the
in
reputation,
Japan it's a little bit more.
Yeah, it's more. Maybe it's more of a cultural shift. I'm not too sure. Because
But you don't even see a lot of those like.
Because I mean, Nintendo also hasn't been doing any. Nintendo does some weird things, in my opinion.
They do weird stuff,
but
like,
I wouldn't say nothing that's like too scammy.
I can't
necessarily
think off the top of my head anything they've done that I've been like, that is scummy. That is bad.
Yeah, like even with like Nintendo Labo,
The cardboard box thing was weird, but not scummy.
I didn't.
But
think,
it's
I
very
didn't think it made
Nintendo
any
to be
less of it.
experimental.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Nintendo to be
It was more
experimental.
for kids. It wasn't for us.
It's more for kids. It was never meant to go to us.
Yeah, it's like if you want to enjoy it, you can. It's there for you to try, but
Mm-hmm.
they didn't make it bad. It's
Only
just-
thing I'd complain about is the fact that it was so expensive to buy cardboard.
No,
And that's
Nintendo
not their
brand cardboard.
That's not their fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna put the game out, the game has to be what, $65, and then you also have to charge for the cardboard. So the game being $75.
It's just
made
really
sense.
interesting to see these companies like like Activision and Bungie and EA and like all these companies kind of like they've built such a rapport with like their games and everything, and they're just trying to suck somebody dry, and it's not working out for them,
So-
and they're getting caught out for it.
So
And then
Capcom,
Capcom is just like
right now,
Capcom's
there's
just trying to chill out.
Capcom's trying to chill out. They're trying to get their fans back. They put out a Devil May Cry that Devil May Cry fans hated, and they did some really scummy
You
things.
talking about the newest one?
No, that was
No, sorry.
that
They
was DMC.
loved this new one.
That was just
Okay.
called DMC.
The last one. It was like supposed to be a remake of the first game,
Ah.
loosely.
Didn't he have
It's
like
like
a-
it had a
like a
completely different
motorcycle
story.
and-
Well, he had a motorcycle in the first place.
Did he?
Yeah.
I never played the original.
He has a rocket arm this time.
Nope, that's
Yeah,
new
they're-
game.
yeah, they're
I'm
good.
talking about the bad remake, which just not a Dante people or Virgil. I can't keep up with whoever it was, but they didn't like him. They completely reskinned it, made the story different, and people hated it. Resident Evil did Resident Evil 6. People hated it.
Game's not great.
Like I said, all the not microtransactions, but the DLC buy this shit for all their fighting games.
You're talking about the Resident Evil
6.
Biohazard?
Oh, 6.
No, six. Six is the one that had all the co-op stuff.
It was basically
Oh,
just a straight up shooter.
Okay.
Well, it played like 5. So what was interesting about Resident Evil 6 is they had lots of characters from the other games. If you played like Chris in what's her name, Sheva, Chris and Sheva or Shiva or
Chris
whatever.
is buff as fuck in that game.
But if you play as them, it plays a lot like Resident Evil 5. If you play as Leon or whatever, it plays a lot like Resident Evil 4. If you play some of the older characters, it plays like the early games, and there's puzzles. And they wanted to like mix all the games together and be like, this is a big homage to the series. But they had like 3 different play styles,
That all
3
fell
different
short of the original
stories.
style.
That like, okay, so if you liked 5, you hated this game because you had to play the puzzle part, and the puzzle part sucked. if you liked the original games, you had to play the shooter parts, and those parts sucked too. So it was just a bad game for all the fans to play. Anyways, off topic.
So, like,
Capcom has been doing bad.
Capcom
and then
just
this
learned this
year,
lesson early.
they learned it early. Companies like Square Enix and Konami are still not doing good. Theory, conspiracy. Well, I know. Square Enix, at least for a minute, was in a lot of debt. Konami was in, I don't know how much debt, but they were in debt. I think they might have some Yakuza money. There might be some Yakuza stuff going on.
Ooh.
Little theory there. But no, they're putting out whatever they can. Konami put out fucking slot machines for like all of their IPs so that they could get gambling money from people.
Squeenix to this day has some of the most beautiful games I've ever seen.
They have beautiful games.
Their
They
particle
put out
effects
some
are
shitty
so
stuff.
amazing. They put out some shitty stuff, but they look the effects that they use, the animation that they have, so amazing.
Again, nothing against them.
No. I was just thinking of like some things in my head where I was like, damn, dude, that looks so good. The Final Fantasy VII remake is probably not gonna happen.
Well, so they put out my theory is that they announced that so that they could get pre-orders and get some hype going and make people excited for Squeenix again. And fucking because they're in debt, they're trying to make money back by putting out something like, oh shit, Final Fantasy VII is our like lifeboat. And if we put that lifeboat out there as something that could happen, people are gonna start swimming for it.
Like Final Fantasy VII's it's a real hard game to remake.
Well, they're saying they're gonna do it in 2 parts. So there's gonna be part 1, part 2.
I hate that.
Yeah, that fucking sucks. That's already scummy.
Yeah,
because now I've got to buy 2 $65 games.
Yeah,
in
it's
order
not
to
going to
play
have all the content from the original
one.
one. They said it wasn't going to have every single thing.
Yeah, they're gonna cut out the brothel stuff. They're gonna cut out the weird
the stuff that made the game fun in a way.
The stuff that made it goofy.
Yeah,
like not too serious.
Because Cloud was like kind of like a joke, wisecracking guy, and now he's like supposed to be emo boy with one wing that fly around and get hit by long sword from Sephiroth.
That's Kingdom Hearts.
It's becoming.
Well, no. I'm saying the one
Fantasy.
wing is the Kingdom Hearts thing. Final Fantasy didn't have the one wing.
I thought they did in Crisis Core, and they added that for the.
They may have. I
Yeah,
didn't play
I'm pretty
Crisis
sure
Core,
it's a part of the actual thing now.
Wow, Sasuke on the track.
Anyway.
Anyways, though, yeah, no, Japanese companies are doing it too, but I think right now they're in this rebuild process. Whereas I think right now America is just now starting to get these scummy practices.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong,
People are vocal about it.
EA has always done scummy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Activision has started doing some scummy shit with people that they are producing, I guess, or with brands they're producing. And we're just in this dry spot right now to where you can't really trust anybody, even yourself.
Well, hopefully games are good games are going to keep on the horizon. Going to change gears a little bit, a little more fast paced here. This doesn't really have to do with video games. I just had some questions and some hypotheticals I've been making up that I felt like would be fun to shoot around this table.
Hypotheticals?
And I'm sure some of you might have some as well if you want to throw some in as well. But I just want to start out with one that Grant inspired me to ask this one. So you always get the question of like, if you had a superpower, what kind of superpower would you have? And people usually say like fantastical things like flying and super strength, stuff like that. But Grant once told me,
hold on.
He had the power to vomit on command.
To vomit on command. If I had to pick a power, there's definitely things way up on that list.
Yeah, okay,
but I think that would be a useful one.
But I want to kind of put this down into a weird area where if you had to pick a superpower that wasn't conventionally useful or cool, i.e., vomiting on command, what's like something you could think of that you would be like, this would be a useful power for me to have?
Let's put the cap on this one in a sense of like, it's not magical. You can't teleport. You know what I mean? Nothing that's like. But like I'm talking like
anomalies.
I could grow my nails real long, or like I can use
I've
got strong hair.
Imagine
like,
the not notable powers from My Hero Academia.
Yeah, like the
non-notable
like background
ones.
character powers.
You know, where it's like I can make 5-pound objects float.
I think for me it would turn into like it would still be the vomit.
Yeah.
I think if we're talking
give me some situations where you really wish you could just vomit out of nowhere.
Okay,
I go home early from work. That'd be cool. I'm talking to some sick sex pervert, and I want to leave, and I throw up.
Okay, so
I think of a lot of interesting things that I could possibly do, but I would like to make my skin really tough for no reason.
Well, like how tough
Just
we talking? Like rock or like leather?
Like at least rock tough.
So
Okay,
the
so-
hardening
okay.
boy from
Yeah, but like
My Hero.
not like I don't want.
Right.
I'm not talking to the extent where I could like punch through walls.
Yeah.
Or
You don't have the
something.
strength. You're just strong.
No, I'm just
like if
like,
someone mugged
it's just
you,
thick.
if
Like
someone-
you couldn't stab
You
me.
want thick skin
Yeah.
so people can't insult you.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I like
that'd be
the,
great.
Again, I like the idea that this isn't like as good. It's just like you're leathery. Like it's just like hard to touch you.
Leather daddy.
It's
It's
hard
just
to
really
touch you.
like you can't easily stab me with a regular knife.
Yeah.
for some reason, it hurts when I slap you.
That would hurt.
yeah.
You could still hurt, like break someone. with
Yeah.
a
The
fucking
power
rocky
of a
punch.
coach bag.
Is that your thing?
No.
I would then learn Taekwondo and become the leather daddy superhero in my dream.
Mine's just perfect balance. No matter what I'm doing, I could be balancing on my fingers, anything. I just perfect balance.
Like you could just stack shit, and it would
Yeah.
just, you had the
Forever.
ability to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be an interesting one. What about you, Joe?
Perfect equilibrium.
Yeah.
I would say
Balanced diet.
a
For me, not you. Sorry, I was thinking about myself still. Sorry, Jesus.
my feelings are hurt.
No, sorry, I was thinking myself.
I can only hope for a balanced diet. I eat way too less.
I eat too much.
Wait,
Way too less. I would say I'm gonna get a little abstracty. Maybe be able to like float and move objects that I could personally lift,
so like,
but hands free. So like if I like
So
just,
no,
Would
like-
it use your physical strength
well, like, would you get exhausted from
doing it?
yeah, it's like I want to touch.
So it's like you're
these
lifting
two
something; they just don't
computers.
see you doing it.
It's like I want to lift these two computers. I touch them, kind of like the Gravity Girl
Yeah,
from My
right.
Hero,
And they
just be like-
lift.
and they're lift, and I can like.
So they only lift in
You
the
can hold them. That's
Actually,
it.
no, take it, make it a like a. You ever seen Elfin Lead?
Yeah.
That
Oh, like
those
where you have
invisi-
like fake
those
arms.
invisible
Yeah,
arms.
like invisible arms.
tentacles.
They like
Yeah,
vibrate so you can't
Yeah.
see them.
Yeah, just
Okay.
those.
So like
I
you could
wouldn't-
only lift in the dimensions that you
That's
can
the
lift
line.
physically.
Yeah. So like I can go to the gym, get stronger. My invisible limbs get stronger as well.
Swole invisible.
What about like real powers?
Real powers.
Like no shit powers.
Oh, well, I would if I could pick any superpower, I would pick the ability to generate and conduct electricity.
Okay.
Because I feel like that is not only a cool power, but that's a power I could learn to do weird shit with. Like it's kind of like a Static Shock thing, where
Infamous.
like he like or an Infamous thing,
Yeah.
where like he learns. I would learn to do more things with it.
Yeah.
Like I would learn my like physical limits of like how much electricity can I shoot through me, or
Mhm.
how much can I generate in one go before I exhaust myself, or something like
Alchemy.
Alchemy,
It'd be
like
really
like
cool.
Edward Elric alchemy,
Yeah.
or just like rock into gold.
Rocking the gold, rocking the gold.
Rock into gold. What about you, Billy?
Solve our money crisis with Jared.
Right.
we talked about this a few years ago because we've had this conversation a while over the past few years.
But it changes sometimes. Right?
Yeah. I think it would be really neat to just be able to control like sound waves, just like emit like a really deep, like
Some Lucio Shield.
yeah, like yeah, or just
I
like
know what you mean.
cause like a really high pitched noise or something.
You
That
can
would
make the
be
brown note.
I mean, like that'd be
What
cool.
is
Like
that? Is
to,
that the one you shit at?
yeah, the
Yeah.
shut.
Oh god.
Like that'd be
Make a really low F.
Yeah.
So that all alligators in the area fuck.
that's true.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, hold up.
That's
They
their
like
mating
make that
call.
noise. They make that
Their
noise.
mating call is a low F.
Alligators like that noise that much?
Yeah. Gets their little peepees going.
Yeah, dude. Just don't be near them.
Just don't be
Just don't be near them.
Yeah,
What
look at
about
the
you, Jeff?
death roll with the penis
PSA,
in your
don't
butt.
be near alligators when they want to fuck.
Yeah, right.
You will lose.
You will lose. You will lose the
You will
fun.
lose everything.
If you hear a low F, run.
Can you imagine that shit like in the dark, like you're in the woods, and you just hear.
Have you seen those pictures of alligators with their completely red eyes in the dark?
Yeah,
I'm gonna lay out.
Imagine seeing that with an F.
I'm gonna lay
Do
out.
you think Killer
a-
Croc from Batman works the same way?
yes,
Yes.
he has to. He watches BET.
True.
Listen, so straight horror scenario. You're in the swamp at night, already pretty scary. You hear one, then it's
Multiple.
right. It's like a surrounding, like it gets louder.
You've
and
entered an
more.
alligator orgy.
I saw a video the other day. It was an alligator climbing like a fence. Like a chain link fence. It like it climbed
learning.
it. It climbed it. And I was like, what the fuck?
I saw a video of an alligator coming out of a pond and a cat bapping the shit.
Yeah,
out
Yeah,
of
and then
it.
it goes back in. It's like, oh fuck this.
There's a land monster.
Yeah.
Dude, cats are fucking fearless.
What you about?
I guess my power, if I had to choose one, I would definitely choose super strength, but if that means my bones are also strong.
Okay, I get
It's
that.
like
Otherwise, you'd hit like a do rah 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 thing where
Yeah.
like, you're like, I'm gonna pick up this fridge, and then your bones
You
break.
never have to drink milk again.
Yeah.
no, never.
You got
It's
them
like
strong bones.
I could also think it's like I could jump stupid long distances, kind of like how All Might does.
Yeah.
And be
Where
able
he's
to
pretty
just-
much flying.
Yeah, just like fucking just land somewhere.
Okay.
And that, if this
Super
film
hops.
stuff just doesn't work out, I could just make a living at the circus lifting stupid stuff.
Or any job, really.
Yeah. No, man, I'm going to this.
You're automatically like
I'm going to the
straight to
circus.
the circus.
Straight to the
Circus.
construction industry.
I think if I could do anything, like it would be like black hole pocket dimension type of stuff. I think that'd be cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were about to say just black people. Like I want to be.
I can
I want to
turn-
have the power of being
I'm
a
like
black man.
Shazam, but when I say Shazow, I turn black.
Shizzle.
Like, are you exactly the same looking, just dark skin?
No, I mean like it's just me, but black. Like I keep my
It's me, but
height
black.
and my same build, but like I'm
Just
a
become an
black
African
person.
American.
Yeah.
So it's just it's Shazam, but instead of becoming like a superhero, you just get an N-word card.
And your basketball handles are unmatched.
Wow.
Listen, guys, Jared's allowed to say these things. I don't know if we stated that last episode, but he's our darker friend.
I am black.
No, but I think the black hole pocket dimension thing would be cool. Like you've seen Heroes, like
Yeah.
fucking where he can like create the little, or he can like blow up their brains or
Heroes
whatever.
is
What the
a
fuck?
great
What
show,
was
by
the
the way.
main villain?
Hero? We're talking about the show,
The show.
Heroes?
Yeah, what's
Hold
the
on.
main villain?
I haven't watched that in a long time. No, his thing was
Wasn't
like
it that?
his thing was that he could steal
Powers?
other powers.
Is that what it
but
was?
he
Okay.
had to have access to your brain.
That's what it was.
So he had to
no,
kill
so
you.
not
to do
like
it.
him then.
He had to open your head
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
find what was weird about the person.
Yeah.
And then he could mimic it.
Okay, so not like that then, but like the ability to create
Because,
little
like,
black
he
holes.
did it
Like I
just-
could be like, be gone thought, and like open a little portal there, and Billy be gone.
'Cause,
It's just like
It's funny enough, in that show, I remember one of the coolest parts of that show that I can remember is like one of the main characters played by Hayden Panettiere.
Hayden
Am I saying-
Panettiere, she's
Yeah, she could regenerate. So he was like doing it to her, but she wasn't dying because she can't
Oh,
die.
like cheerleader girl.
So he
Yeah.
like opened her up and he was like doing his thing, and she was like conscious for the whole thing
wasn't that thing like
because
save the cheerleaders?
she
save
can't-
the world
she
or
can't
something?
die.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
you would have to like destroy her brain for her not to regenerate. So she was just like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "I'm doing my thing. Shut up."
I need to rewatch that. That's such a good show in my opinion. I love
But
it.
no, and like to be able to do like
It's
a
been
pocket
so
dimension
long.
to where like I could go into like a little like whoop, like open a portal and I could go in and it's like my own little space, kind of like the Uchiha thing where they can like open up like a little door to somewhere else.
On a similar vein, I have another question. If you were able to shapeshift right into one animal, and you could shapeshift back and forth when you wanted,
Okay.
what would your animal form be?
Does it have to be like? Could it be a dinosaur?
I mean,
Could it be a mythical animal?
I don't. let's keep the mythical out of this. Let's
Okay,
make it
but
a
dinosaur?
normal- yeah, sure.
So things that have existed.
Yeah,
Okay,
I believe dinosaurs probably existed. So yeah,
they existed.
Snow leopard. Snow
leopard?
leopard 100%.
I'd be a
Why?
raccoon.
Just because they have long
Wait.
tails and really cool.
Wait, did you say snow leopard?
So you just think they're cool?
I think they're cool and they can kill. And they're cute.
Wait, did
Pause. Raccoon.
I want to be a raccoon
Why?
because raccoons.
So,
Still,
okay, so we're not talking about animals you like. We're talking about animals that you want to be able to turn
that
into.
would be my shape. That'd be
What
my
could
shape.
you do different that you want to do?
I could get into places I usually couldn't because raccoons are good climbers.
Okay.
They still got thumbs, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. Raccoons can still grab shit.
Okay.
And I'm not looking to like murder people.
Okay.
So
Why don't you become a monkey?
Because I would want to. Because I don't think monkeys are cute.
Yeah, but then you got the intimidation on your side to where, like, if a monkey ran up to me, I'd accept that I'm going to die.
Again, I'm not using it to threaten
Okay, what
nobody.
kind of monkey we talking though?
I'm
Any
talking.
monkey.
Okay, hold on. I'm talking chimpanzee. I like a monkey,
Like an ape.
like
Ape.
like like one of these like little
Yeah.
monkeys. If one of those came up to me, I'd be like, "Fuck off! I can stomp your head in."
No, chimps.
But like if a chimp came up to me, I'd be like,
I'm getting
laying down now. I'm dead.
It'll take your fingers, your eyes, and your ball sack.
And your dick.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
dick.
take
That's
your
the first
dick.
thing they take.
Yeah,
It is.
That is.
Genuinely.
100%. They
Genuinely
will
the
go
first
for your
thing.
big
It's like
thing.
how big cats go for the neck. Chimps go for the dick.
Yeah.
Well,
as I've said, as I have already said,
Give me that dick, boy.
hashtag chips go for the dick.
Yeah.
I'm not
Hey,
looking to
this
scare
week's-
anybody.
That's this week's hashtag. Next week, ask us any question with the hashtag chips go for the dick.
Anyway,
I'll check the hashtag. No one else will.
I'm not looking to scare people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking to turn into something I think would be fun to be. Which is
Interesting
a
to be.
little raccoon. I could still grab stuff. No one's gonna really fuck with me, to be honest. And I mean, if someone does, I will immediately like
A hawk.
leave that. Well, I'm gonna turn into a full-grown man, and it's gonna be
still
really,
attack you.
really
See,
difficult.
I love the snow leopard because I love snowy environments. I would be a predator. I wouldn't be prey. Well, to other things I would be, but I'd be mainly a predator. And I just look cool. Like I'm just cool.
You just
it's
look
not my
baller as
favorite
fuck.
animal. Just because like, my favorite animal is a penguin, but like
Oh,
it's
nice.
just snow leopards are just.
Yeah, I can't think of honestly the only other kind of thing I think I would be is something that I could naturally fly, but like that's what everybody is like. I want to fly. No, raccoon all the way. I would love to be just like in raccoon form, sitting outside of a Taco Bell, just eating a burrito, and then be
I straight up
like,
can see
this
you doing
raccoon
that.
knows what's up, and I'm just like,
You're like laying back and you have the foot on your
Yeah.
belly and you're eating it. Yeah, I can
Taco
see
Bell.
that.
They're like,
Pet
this raccoon.
What about you, Billy?
My favorite animal is a fox, so that's like instinctively what I say.
I don't think
But-
much fucks with a fox. I mean, I know crows do.
What type of fox though? Fennec fox? Fennec foxes are amazing. But they cannot
like
deal
a
with really
classic
loud noises
red
because of the
fox?
big
Just like a
ears.
classic fox.
Yeah, I don't think much fucks with a fox. Like I said, I know crows like do that
Oh.
game that they do. but-
Dogs.
What about you, Josh?
Heavy
Big
breeze.
cats fuck with foxes.
Do they hunt them, or
Yeah.
are they just territorial about them?
Yeah, they hunt.
Okay,
them.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I could actually be a fox.
Fox is like in that in between where it's a predator and a prey.
By the way, if I was gonna be anything else, it'd be a ferret.
A what?
A ferret.
Oh, I
thought
think
you
you said
said
a furry.
furry.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
thought you said furry.
I was like, okay. I was using this
I
to
mean-
weed out the first person to say wolf, and then to immediately call them a furry.
No.
But you just came out and said you're a furry.
No, a
No,
ferret.
a ferret.
Ferrets are
Jared's a furry.
so
Like, okay,
cute.
so a ferret or a weasel?
whatever one's the one with the long body.
Both.
That's
They're
both
different.
long.
They're different types. I think weasels are.
You're probably
Bigger?
thinking ferret.
the one that people have as pets.
Yeah,
it's a ferret.
ferret.
Yeah.
Ferrets. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think weasels are like,
I kind of want
Bigger.
one, but at the same time,
They're smelly.
I heard they're really smelly.
and they bite.
And they bite. And they're a little shithead.
They're chaotic.
Yeah.
Like, get one, name it Loki. You're fine.
What about
Yeah,
you?
weasels
Joe?
are bigger.
Weasels are smaller. You can get a weasel.
Are they
there's like
smaller?
There's like a because they don't have as long as well.
They're also not as furry.
Yeah, weasels. You can get a pocket weasel where it's like one that only gets to about as big as your hand.
Yeah, they're okay. I thought weasels were bigger for some reason. I know there's a whole classification of like whatever that class is
Mhm.
has different branches that you.
Like-
I think otters are in the same family as them,
Technically, yeah, it's like all.
and skunks maybe,
I don't know about some.
and badgers.
But what type of fox were you gonna be?
Red fox. He said red fox.
He said red fox.
I'd be cool with being like a. What are the ones with the big ears? The one you said?
Fennec
fox?
fox?
Fennec
Fox?
Yeah, like what
Yes.
Eevee is.
Because the only
Yes.
thing about Fennec foxes is like, because I love them, but they can't deal with loud noises.
Well, he
So-
could.
Well, yeah. Oh.
You'll be his
Me
pet.
specifically.
Well, you have man brain.
I got man.
You got big man brain. Small fox, you're fine.
It's
You
just
heard it
a
here
small
first.
body fox with that
Big,
huge
big.
brain.
It's got
Hanging
human
out the back
brain
of his
still in it.
Oh.
Well, yeah, that's the stipulation. You've got your big man brain as a backpack.
You're like Brain from Pinky and the Brain, but in box.
So like
form,
people
you're-
see you eating your little Taco Bell taco as a little raccoon, and then you look at them and they're like, "Oh, that's cute." And you like turn around, there's a fucking brain on your back, and
Deformity.
they're like, "Ah!"
Yeah, I'm that would
Yeah, if-
immediately
Let's not add that. That's
Yeah,
scary.
that's not
actually
added.
scary.
redacted.
What about you, Jazz?
I'm torn between two extremes.
Okay.
All right.
My first instinct was like a house cat.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said house cat.
Because, like, they're nimble, balanceful, they're very small, they can see in the dark. Fucking
Everything
They're
a
just-
raccoon can do,
Except in
not
the
as
house.
good.
except they got thumbs.
I've never seen a raccoon fall 9 stories and be fine.
I've never seen a cat fall 9
so
stories and
I've
be
seen
fine.
one.
Are you talking house cat or like a feral house cat? Like the same type, but like, do you want to be pampered by a human or do you want to be
think
out in the
it-
woods?
I don't think it would. If this is like just being able to, like,
Are
basically be.
Oh yeah, you're bee shaping.
Yeah.
You're not.
It's
being
like
it.
I'm
yeah,
not
okay.
feral.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
you are
forgot we were
you.
just doing the B shape.
Yeah.
I thought we were
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
Grant thought
Yeah,
about
sorry,
this
I
in a
thought
lot
about
of ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I went
Grant
for
was like,
different
"What would
angles.
it be like if you became this animal?"
I thought 5 different animals depending on how this was.
I mean, if we're being,
but now I'm down to 2.
If I'm being as accurate as possible to like my D&D character, I'm just gonna change into a giant bear.
Okay,
Like,
that's not a bad one.
A bear
Nothing
is a
fucks with
very-
a bear, except
Yeah.
for other bears.
That's what.
Yeah.
I mean, you ever look at bears and it's like they're killers, but they're just so like
They're human dogs.
They're just fluffy.
They're human dogs.
They got like big ears.
I see one right there.
So what was your
Oh,
other
that's-
extreme? Was
It
it a bear?
Yeah, well, it's just like the biggest bear I can imagine.
What
Just
kind?
like-
Brown, black, polar. I
Grizzly.
think polar bears.
What's the
are-
biggest?
Grizzly
bear?
is the
Biggest
biggest
one.
bear.
Not right
Really?
now.
I'm googling what's the biggest bear.
Grizzly. I'm pretty sure it's grizzly.
Take your bets.
Blackberry.
I thought it was polar.
It's polar.
Okay.
It is a close call, but the polar bear is generally considered the largest bear on Earth. A close second is the brown bear.
Oh man,
I'd
grizzly.
probably be a Kodiak bear. Kodak bear.
Kodak Black Bear.
Is it the sun bear?
Some
Sun
bears,
bears are weird.
Some bears are little.
some bears are
But they're
so
weird.
stupid looking.
Yeah, they look.
They're weird because they climb trees and just hang out.
All right.
If I had, I'm tied between 2 as well. So I like the idea of being a bearded vulture because they look fucking sick. They're like dragons, and then also like a velociraptor.
Okay, but like, are we talking fucking?
I'm talking feathers and all.
Okay,
Like,
we're talking
real-
a turkey-sized dinosaur.
Velociraptors aren't the size of a turkey,
They are.
are they?
They
The
are.
Oh, then, yeah,
Velociraptors, as we know
Jurassic
them
Park
now.
messed that up for everybody.
Is it
Well,
really?
well,
I still thought
here's
they
the
were
thing.
bigger.
At the time that movie was made and the book was made, that's what we thought Velociraptors looked like. We did more research and found that they looked different, and so it's not the original creator of Jurassic Park's fault. He didn't like
That's
make them
general
that way.
research at the time.
Yeah, that was the research at the time. So that's what Velociraptors kind
They
of look
continue
like.
to use it.
Yeah, and they do because of pop culture.
So
Most
that's what I'm
people
saying.
do.
It's like,
But-
like they just
yeah.
keep using it.
Velociraptors
Well, then, yes.
are like the
Still-
size of a turkey.
Still turkey sized.
They have all the claws.
I
and
still
everything.
think it would be cool. I think it'd be fast. I imagine
I mean,
you're
yeah,
still
they're
able
little-
to jump.
They're little pack hunters.
But I think it's one of those things that where like it would be cool to be and to scare people.
Of course.
Okay.
Like
Because
I
why
mean,
not?
people. No one like okay. Someone you're
'Cause
like
no
sneaking
one-
around.
Because no one's seen a Velociraptor.
No.
I
Especially
heard-
a real one,
Yeah.
like with feathers and all. They'd be like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck is that lizard?"
Yeah.
They
I
wouldn't
would
be like,
immediately-
"Velociraptor."
I would immediately bolt if I saw something
Exactly.
like that. Something the size of a turkey that looked like it could
had like bright feathers,
legitimately
but
eat
also
me.
lizardy.
Yeah, and it looks fucking. It has like claws and
Yeah.
like saw-like.
If I
teeth
saw
in
a
its
cool
mouth.
Yaku in the real world, I'd be scared.
Dude.
But no, so
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, like with yours, you were a raccoon, but
Yeah.
if you were sneaking around and someone saw you and didn't want you there, they'd be like, ah, and start banging against shit and trying to spook you off.
And then you would run
But
back
if
at
someone-
them like, ah.
But if someone saw me
That
as a
meme.
little
They
velociraptor,
would run the fuck away.
they'd be gone.
Or they'd
Whatever
have-
they have is mine.
Unless they were the kind of person to get a gun.
Who gets a gun in America?
Or kill everyone.
Who gets a gun in America?
Hashtag who gets a gun in America?
Who really does?
Quite literally everyone.
Name one.
Me.
Name one. Ooh, all
I'm
right.
not fucking with the police.
All right. Here's one. Here, I got one more in my tank.
Before a side note, I think if I had to choose anything other than those two, I would choose a hummingbird.
If I had to pick a flying thing, it would have been a
The thing about hummingbirds is they have to stay moving though.
Yeah, I'm trying to get somewhere by flying.
I
would
would
be moving.
if I were to be a
Now,
flying thing, it would probably be like a what are they called? Like a fox bat.
I'm
Bats
not
are actually
familiar.
pretty cute.
Well, have you
Not
seen a fox
familiar.
bat?
Bats are
Not
really
familiar.
cute.
Look up
with
a
it.
fox bat, Billy.
I guess
I
you.
bet it's cute.
Well, it's cute, but
It's
it
the
is
one that looks like a puppy.
it is the size of a small dog.
oh my god, it is. Oh my, that is.
It's a big fucking bat.
That's a big fucking
Yo.
That is a huge bat.
They look like puppers.
They do look like
It's like a
would-be
fox.
little
It is a
puppies.
flying fox.
Here's what I just thought about. I had another one on deck, but now that we brought up bats, I want to. If you had like proportionate wings to your body, you
Yes.
had like wings that grew out of your body. Would you rather have feathered wings or bat-like wings? I would rather have bat wings.
I think feathered ones would be more of a mess.
Yeah.
And there's the stipulation, like, would I be able to fly in the rain? Things like that. 'Cause
Like, I could get my bat wings tattooed.
But
You can lose feathers and lose the ability to fly.
Yeah.
yeah, well, and that's
exactly.
also true about feathers. But also, bat wings, flesh colored, gross. That would be like real gross.
Yeah.
Except for me, I'm black.
Ugh.
Haha.
No.
That would still be pretty gross.
I would
Big
have.
fleshy
Okay,
wings.
I would get my
Are we
wings
talking, like-
tattooed. It would look dope.
thinking-
Also, if this was a normal thing and everybody had those, like, do you think there'd be like a religion that's like you got to get your wings circumcised so that you can't fly?
Yeah, I'm
anymore?
thinking.
No, we would
when
just
I'm
wear
thinking
clothes on
the
them.
bat wings. I'm thinking like it's just made of scrotum skin.
Yeah, I mean, I am thinking like super loose, gross.
Why? All right.
Not like it's like hot
like-
day.
Oh, so they like retract.
Like they wrinkle.
Okay, but like, what are bat wings like?
That.
Okay,
Are
so
bat wings like
They
bat
are
scrotums?
They are
So-
super thin.
so are our wings
Yeah.
are our wings going to be like our arms, kind of like bats?
No,
Or
I'm talking
are they gonna be,
about, like,
on our
a
back?
separate set of wings.
a set of
A
wings
separate
Far
set
away,
of-
that kind of
Yeah.
looks.
protrude out your
separate
back.
limbs.
I don't that okay.
I'm not going. I just don't.
I
want
think-
to
okay.
Would be terrifying.
I like the idea of the feather ones purely because I imagine you'd be able to dye them cool colors,
That's fair.
and I think that would be a little more neat than a tattoo. I could just change that shit out whenever I want to, and I'd have different colors, and I'd be able to do.
And
cool
are
shit
these
with
just
them.
on your back, or are we doing like your arms are now?
No, you're
No,
doing
that's what
it
we were
back.
talking about. They're a separate pair.
They're separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'd say
And-
feathers. I think I'd go with feathers.
I go with feathers too.
Feathers would just be more
So we got feathers,
aesthetically
feathers.
pleasing.
Bat wings still.
Bat wings, bat wings.
Feathers.
And are we doing
Three
anime?
feathers, two
Are we
bat
doing
wings.
anime wings or not? Because like the regular wings would be on the shoulder blades. Anime wings are right above the butt.
This
No,
is shoulders.
the shoulder blades, not
Shoulders.
right above the butt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I didn't know that.
my last one in the tank, at least for now. I have some more,
No, Jared's got some too. I know.
but I know we all got some, and we've been going a while for the moment. But hypothetical:
You cut out
would
those
you
segments.
rather fight 6 unarmed men or people? We don't need to 6 unarmed people.
No, I do need to know if they are adults or kids.
Adult
or-
people.
Adult
6
people.
unarmed
Also-
adult people.
So gender doesn't matter. but
You
adult
also
people.
say unarmed. Are these men without arms, or are they arms?
No
men
weapons.
without weapons?
6 people
without weapons.
without weapons who are of able body and with the intent to kill you.
Or half women, half men.
It's a mix.
No,
Mix.
okay.
It's mixed.
Let's keep gender as
Mix.
not a part of it.
It's a mix.
I could probably get
anybody
killed.
can kick your ass. So able-bodied 6 able-bodied people, full-grown adults.
Yes. Okay.
Or 1 bear. Which would you rather fight?
To the,
To the death. Or 1 full-grown bear who's not leaving
And now,
until
am
you're
I
dead.
unarmed?
Yes.
yeah.
So here's the thing. I even if they're out to kill me, I'm still more likely to survive.
Yeah.
6 adults. And it will probably be less painful. And it'll probably be I don't know if it would be quicker or not. Because this is all blunt force. This is going to be like bashing my head in. This is to kill me.
No, I feel like the bear would definitely be quicker.
Well, it depends.
Okay.
Depending on what the bear did.
Again, have you seen The Revenant?
No.
That shit was long.
Anyway. Yeah, it was rough, and he still survived it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's also a movie.
Well, 6 people.
We talking a movie.
A mix of 6 people equals a bear in every aspect, because you'll have the men and the women, and they'll have strength, and then like they can scratch.
Yeah, but like, have you seen a bear's claws? Those are razors. Like those are designed to swipe and kill.
Freshly done pedicure or whatever?
That's not. They're unarmed. We're not. They don't have that.
So they don't have fingernails.
They just got regular nails.
I assume they've got normal nails. He did not throw in there.
They
They
didn't
have
get
fresh
pedicures.
pedicures. If he did not throw in that,
they freshly cut their
they
fingernails.
don't.
They got their razor sharp, like
No. They're like Giles' fingernails.
they're small. Okay, I'd kill every single one of those.
Good
fingernails.
callback.
Yeah,
I
Easily.
think
I'd take on the
With
humans
these.
before.
I think that would be easier.
Okay, that's a whole nother option.
I'd throw them on the ground
If
and
you
break
think
their
you would
necks.
win or not.
Oh, is that? Wait, what was your question?
Jared's just throwing in.
Which
Mine
would you
was
rather
would
fight?
would you rather have to fight?
Oh, okay.
Whether or not you won is kind of like
I personally
up
would
to
rather
you
have to
or
take on the
confidence.
humans.
I don't think I could take on either. As a 6 foot tall, 300-pound boy, I think I'm probably lost in both.
If they're the same build as me, I'll win. But if they're bigger than me, I can't.
Again, he didn't throw in there that they are masters of kung fu or anything, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly. I have
If
the
there's
ability
like
of street
6,
fighting.
if there's like 6
They're
everyday
normal
civilians,
adults.
Let's do say that they're all equal to us.
Yeah.
We are all equal in the grounds of power,
Yeah.
body type, strength,
Yeah.
and ability.
There's just 6 of them and one of
so,
you.
so no
And
matter
I'm
what, we're
coming.
losing. Is what I'm getting from this.
Are they all versus us, or is it like a royale of all 7 of us?
No, all 6 of them want you dead.
Oh yeah, then I'm fucked in that case.
Yeah,
I'm fucked with the bear. Am I armed with the bear?
No.
You did not throw that in there. Okay, then there's no chance of me winning against the bear.
Yeah, there's no
I'd
chance of
still
surviving.
probably go against the bear.
It's kind of like
There's no
which would you
survival.
rather have kill you?
There's absolutely
This
no survival.
hypothetical calls for they are going to kill you. There's no way to scare this bear off or to play dead and this bear to go away. I assume
I wouldn't be able-
It's going to kill you.
I'll say this: I wouldn't be able to kill all 6 people. I'd be able to kill half of them, and I'd be fine with that.
I might knock
what
out
you're
one
saying
dude.
is, if I lowered the amount of people, you're going to lean more toward the people because you could. You say
No,
you could-
I lean towards the people all the way. I'm not fucking with a bear.
Okay.
There's no point. There's no way.
So,
I'm
like,
I am
do you
not
think
going
you'd come out of a fight if it
I'm
was
doing
just
the bear.
3 people?
do you think I could come out of
Do
that?
you think you would come out of it? If it was 3 people
Not,
who are
not like unscathed, but like there's a chance that I could. There's a chance you could.
Literally, if there's 6 of them,
I don't think I would either fight.
I know we're
fighter.
talking about 3. I know we're talking about 3 in this case, but if there's 6 of them, all they have to do is get you on the ground, and you are.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. If there's 6 of them, I can maybe take out like half of them, and then
Even
I'd
if
be
like
fine with that.
I
And
could
then be
probably deck
overwhelmed.
one, and then like one would fucking trip me or something, and then they would pin me down, and
Because
I'd be dead. That'd be it.
I have hope that I because there's
You
can-
watch anime,
no, I watch street fights as well, and there's a
World
possi-
Star.
Hell yes, dude. and there's so many videos where like one guy he'll just be like being attacked by like 7 I'm not gonna say it anymore, 7 people, and basically he'll just like be blocking stuff. He'll be like trying to get away, and then they'll thin out the numbers when he's trying to get away because they're like one's moving, some's gonna move faster than the others. They're not gonna all be like,
So
oh, we're always in a line.
He's funneling.
Move it up, yeah.
Yeah.
Funnel it.
I mean, they're all
Hits
coming.
one person. You only take it can take one punch to knock somebody out.
Yeah,
He-
yeah,
he-
yeah.
he's
I've
the Nazi
seen
zombies
people
approach to
easily
it.
knock out 6 people that are much bigger than them
I don't,
in a row.
I just here's my thing. They're
That's
not,
some confidence. I respect that.
They are not going to funnel. They're all coming at you at once. They're going to surround you.
But if
if
you're
you're
able
only
to
one
dodge and
direction
weave,
away from them.
that's why we have weave in the hood culture. You can
I know you do.
you just gotta get it to where it's kind of like zombies. You just gotta get it to where you get the train, and then you just
Except they're fucking smart.
are they though?
I assume. If you're fighting yourself. If you're fighting
Okay, if you're
6
fighting
of
your-
you. Again, you gotta assume these
Are these
people are
clones?
they're equal intelligence, they're equal ability, they're equal strength, they're equal in all
Yeah,
respects.
That adds something completely different if it's
Yeah,
if
that's
it's
a whole
literally
different layer.
if it's literally you.
It's not you, but they're just as smart as you.
Like because if it's just you, if it's literally you're fighting yourself, they are gonna think the exact same as you. But if it's somebody completely different, they're not gonna think the same that you.
They're just as smart as you, though, so they know how to. It's just like if it was 6 of you versus one guy, how would 6 of you attack that?
But if I'm fighting a bunch of on the street, they're not gonna be like, they're not gonna see me. They're not gonna be like, he's funneling us. We have everybody get back in line.
He's funneling us.
But do you think that they would say, surround him?
They're gonna try.
Okay, are they gonna communicate with each other? Or are they just
Why
gonna
would
try?
they
to
not? 6 of them are out to get you, man. Yeah, sure.
Like, have they formed like a super squad? And they're like, look, we need to get
They are
him.
all
Or
out
are they
to
just
get
all
you.
individuals? That
I
want
won't
it?
say that.
Like-
I'll give you this. The 6 individuals did not plan beforehand that they were going to kill you, but something happened.
It's not premeditated.
And all of a sudden, all 6 of them have to kill you.
Okay, so are we stuck in a room? Are we out on the street? Are we in the woods with the bear somewhere
Yeah,
else?
what's the situation?
Are we able to run? Because, I mean, obviously...
You're not able to run.
Are you allowed to destroy their morale?
Sure.
This sucks.
Hey,
100% can do it.
If they're clones of me, I'll just shit on myself, and then they'll.
But they'll know you'll shit on yourself.
What?
That was even quite a while.
Okay, here's my answer, straight and simple. I wouldn't win against 6. I wouldn't win against the bear. I'd rather go with the bear because there's a higher chance that it's just going to slice me and I'm dead.
Okay.
Whereas if I go down to dudes,
I feel that. Yeah.
if dudes take me down, they're going to like pin me down and they're going to like bash my shit in and I'm going to like be alive until I'm knocked unconscious. And I'm going to
I feel like with the bear it would go quicker because I don't feel like I can fight off 6 dudes.
The
I
thing
mean,
about
bears-
the bear is that I always think of that Revenant.
But I imagine
very, very long.
I imagine realistically, and I don't know this for a fact, but I imagine bears and big cats kind of have that same thing where they're like, I'm going to go for the neck and that's done.
No, bears are different.
Are they?
Yeah. Cats, that's in their brain, but bears.
Why is
They're
it not in a-
just going after you.
They're just trying to.
They're
hit
just trying to eat you. They're not going straight for the
No.
neck.
Is that the case in this scenario?
I mean, if they're
Hold
just
on.
going straight from the neck in this scenario, I'll go with the bear.
I need to know, in this situation, does the bear just want me dead, or is it hungry and eat me too?
We'll say that.
Is this a bear?
We'll say that in
Like,
both-
is it like protecting its baby and it's like, I want you dead.
We'll say that in both situations,
It just wants me dead.
the opposing party, whether it be the 6 people or the bear, both just suddenly, for the sake of its own interests, needs you dead.
Bear's gonna kill me
It's not
faster.
If it's
premeditated.
going for the neck, I'll go with the bear.
Bear's
It's
gonna kill me
not
faster.
premeditated. It's not for a purpose other than you need to not be alive.
If we're talking a chance of survival, I'll go with the humans. If we're talking which is going to kill me faster, fuck it, I'll take the bear.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's not a chance with either for me. I know I'm going now.
I still respect that
Going.
Jared is like, I could take 6 dudes if I could duck and
If
weave.
I
If
had
you can
to,
duck
I would.
and weave and destroy their morale by knocking out the first 3, they'll come running. If you knock out the big dude, I almost said the N-word again. If you knock out the big guy,
You were
he's
the
gone.
only one who has the right to say it here.
I
and
know,
you
but I don't want to
refused
say it too much. But like, yeah, if you knock out the big guy, the other guys are like, oh shit, he knocked out the big guy.
That ain't true.
Oh man, okay.
Maurice,
Giles, you've been quiet a while. What's your final?
I'm in the same party as with Billy here. Is like chance of survival, dudes. No survival bear.
All right.
there's
Anybody
not-
else
we-
got
we
any?
kinda-
Are me and you on the same wavelength here? Like, it's just like, take the bear and go home.
Yeah, take
Like,
the bear and go home, man. People, I'm
gonna take the L here.
I know that I've set a lot of parameters where it's like, oh, neither of them had intent to do it beforehand. But like, if I was ever actually in one of these situations, I would assume the people are much more malicious than the bear.
Oh, yeah. The bear is like
So,
just going to
like-
kill me and that's it.
So
I
like,
just
dude,
believe in
who
myself.
knows
The
what
people,
yeah,
I just
people
believe in
fair.
myself.
might do something worse.
Yeah.
I don't know their intent. I mean, they
Stop
want me
it.
dead. They might put my picture up, my little bloody brain on 4chan. I don't want that.
Yuck. Anyway, so any other hypotheticals?
You have one last one.
I have a hypothetical right here.
Okay.
All right,
The perfect girl.
you guys ready?
I didn't
All
have
right.
another yet, but we're good. We can save them.
God, that's a good one though.
So basically, here's my hypothetical.
All right.
You're in a room.
Okay.
You're strapped to a chair, and there's a door behind you, but it's completely locked and pretty much boarded up on the other side.
I'm
There's
strapped
no-
to, like, I'm tied or?
Yes.
tied
No,
behind my
you are strapped. You are strapped like this. So you
Okay,
are
by your wrist.
basically your
string.
wrists are on
So-
there, and you're sitting in the chair.
So like
But
we are right now recording this.
Yes, basically.
Got it.
And under both of your hands are 2 buttons.
Are you telling me how to escape?
Under both of your, let me finish it. Under both of your hands are two buttons.
Uh-huh.
So on both sides is one says light on both sides, and then the other one says it's just a red button. It's just a red button. It's an action button. In front of you, there are two different rooms split up. So there's one mirror. One window.
I like that we're all sitting here too. We don't have arms on our chairs,
Right.
but we're all sitting here like there is arms on our chairs and our hands are on our buttons, and we're just all sitting here like this.
Okay.
Oliver's the only one with arms.
But there's one window. There's one window,
Mm-hmm.
and a voice comes over the intercom saying, "You get to kill one to save yourself." And the roof begins to slowly descend.
I've seen this movie before.
Right.
Oh.
And so, which room would you like to look in first? Room 1 or room 2?
Let's go
Room
one.
1.
Wait, is this from a movie or is this from? Is this from?
I'm just saying Saw.
Is this Until Dawn?
I'm making this up.
Well, Until Dawn did this, didn't it?
No.
No,
No,
they
no,
weren't.
no.
They weren't strapped. They just
No.
had to pick between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go room 1.
Room
Yeah,
1.
let's all go room 1 just because.
You turn the light on for room 1. There's a vat. There's a green vat right in the middle of the room, and it's filled with a green liquid. And on the side of it, it says ooze. It's the ooze from
The movie?
from Roger. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh shit! Okay, so the decartooning.
Yes. And above it, strapped
Fuck,
up,
I hate this. Hold
strapped
on.
up is Roxanne from the Goofy movie.
Oh shit.
Oh no!
Would you like to check the second room, or would you want to go ahead and kill her?
What's the,
Wait,
what's the second room?
In the second room, there's another vat of ooze. It's strapped up. It's Lola Bunny from Space Jam.
Wait, now
Oh
what does this do?
no!
Bye, Lola.
This is the ooze vat.
Have you seen Who
Basically-
Framed Roger Rabbit?
No.
Okay, so in that movie,
I'm a furry either way.
back.
Listen now.
Yeah, that's fair, but one's more furry though. So back up. Roger Rabbit in that movie, the main villain's whole thing was he had an ooze that was essentially just a liquid eraser, so it would erase the cartoons from existence painfully. It's acid for cartoon characters.
Yeah, they just melt into it.
Cool, I got my answer immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye,
and
Lola.
Does everybody have their?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, bye,
Fuck,
Lola.
fuck, bye, Lola.
Why?
Fucking Roxanne. Hell
Here's the
yeah,
thing.
dude.
And we can.
I mean, I'd pick Roxanne, but like, how did like Lola Bunny's so fucking hot?
Stop smacking the table.
Weird.
I'm sorry.
Weird.
Recording.
Hold on.
Okay,
Hold on.
before we started recording, it may have been after, but
know.
earlier you said something about furry. It's confirmed. Once again, you're a furry.
Dude, everyone had the hots for Lola and Roxanne.
Yeah, those were both.
No.
Everyone
no,
had the
sir.
hots for her.
No, sir.
Oh, I'm gonna say something bad.
Listen. And this can be taken out or it cannot. But I noticed the clap is a meme at this point.
I want to film this, and I want to just record the amount of times just the clap cam.
Yeah, just like end of the month tally up on how many claps we did. I would even like to if we had Patreons, just be like, hey, here's the uncut, here's the whole episode.
Racism included.
So do we want to cut that out the less?
If you want. But what I was gonna say is, I feel like when it comes to these two, I see a lot of black dudes that are real into Lola Bunny. I shit you not. Whenever you see like those blinged out cartoon
Yeah, the
characters,
Toon Squad.
it's always
stuff.
like
Yeah.
Space Jam stuff.
Man,
it's
that's
always
but it's
that's 'cause
actually-
they're about the Looney Tunes. Like no one's out here making
It's
Roxanne
not
shit.
actually. It's not. They actually don't use Lola
Thugs
Bunny that
don't.
much.
well,
They use more of Marvin the Martian and
I see Bugs Bunny. Yeah. But like whenever
Or
they have the
Tasmania,
female
Tasmania.
accomplices, like they always sexify Lola Bunny.
Yeah.
And that is weird to me. I just now
Because
thought about that.
That's like
afterwards.
the one move. That's like the one time that Lola Bunny's like so sexualized that everybody's like, God damn.
Everybody's like, ah, shit.
Hot
Yeah,
damn,
exactly.
Lola.
Yeah.
All kids were like that. They were like, oh dang.
And now, to be fair, at the end of the day, this doesn't for me, and I guess we're not cutting that out. That was just me thinking about something. And
Because I don't see myself as a furry just because
Well, you're not
that's
a furry.
fucking hot. That's everybody can agree that the way that they drew her was pretty freaking hot.
Okay,
I have to pee, but I love that delivery. You cannot argue. She was
fucking hot.
She was
dude.
fucking
I mean,
hot.
I'm gonna give it to Jared, man. He's like, they drew her that way for
No, they
visual gag.
I agree.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna go out here and yiff. That's not what I'm gonna do.
And I agree. Here's my thing. At the end of the day, I picked Roxanne not because I thought she was sexy. I mean, I did when I was a kid, but like, you got to think they like in fucking high school. The first movie.
Yeah, I picked.
And was she even in the second movie?
She was not.
I picked her because I want to go see Powerline with her.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, that's fair.
Because Powerline's my main like dude in that movie. That I don't even care about her. I want to see Powerline.
I just maybe for me it's just because like I don't know. I just don't care much for the Looney Tunes
I'll never.
as a whole.
See, I like
Babies.
I like the Looney Tunes, but I've always loved the Goofy movies.
I'll never
I like
forgive.
Goofy and those guys more than I like Bugs Bunny.
More than Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
So
What
my
about
definite
the
answer
terrible-
is
Actually, I'm not gonna get into cartoons right now because
Are you talking about Looney Tunes back in action?
No. I'm talking about Lunatics.
Ooh.
The 4Kids show.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we're gonna talk
I
about that
remember
some
that.
other time.
So it's unanimous that we'd all pick Roxanne.
Roxanne.
She's a cutie. Also, I will never forgive Disney for making those Goofy movies non-canon.
Oh yeah.
Max.
wait, what?
Yeah, Max
Max
Goof,
is canon.
not canon anymore.
Are you kidding me?
No,
Oh wait, no. That came out as fake.
came out as fake.
Yeah, that came out as
Good.
fake. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
thank
good.
God.
Like,
He's
That
been-
upset me.
He's been in way too much Disney stuff to not be canon.
Have you seen that stuff where they call him a lumbersexual?
Oh, what?
yeah, I have.
Okay.
I've seen the ones where they make
Why is
like
Gwen
they,
hissing in the dark?
I like when I like when they make the dumb memes where they're like, "This is Max Goof now," and they make him look like hot,
Yeah,
quote
yeah.
unquote.
They give him the tattoos.
He's in like buff
lumbersexual.
muscles
And the
yeah.
piercings.
Yeah, he's a
and the
lumbersexual.
big beard.
I have a big beard now.
I'm a big man dog beard guy.
yeah.
Do we have any other hypotheticals?
I was gonna say
Oliver has a really good one.
I was gonna say Max Goof has to be canon because he was in House of Mouse, and House of Mouse is canon.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in House of Mouse, he dropped out of school and
You
became a
really want me to
valet
do
for the
this
club.
one?
I think it'd be fun. I
All
mean,
right.
you can
Or he's paying off his debt for
you can throw it out there and see if they're like, oh, I don't know if we
All
want to
right.
touch this hot button.
So there's a game I used to play with coworkers back when I worked at Chipotle. That
Boy.
was
I know this
that
one.
was she's perfect in every
Yeah.
way, but.
Yeah,
And so and it can work with he as well. Really, it's just like if you had a romantic partner and they were the perfect person for you in every imaginable way, like you just clicked on every level, but this one thing, would that one thing be a deal breaker, or would you get over it and like be with this person forever?
Disclaimer: we love women.
I'm married.
I'm also married.
I've been single for a long time, but I like girls.
I'm just here.
Cool. Anyway,
So-
let's go on.
So she's perfect in every way, or he's perfect in every way, whatever you float with.
Oh my god.
But they believe they're an ethnicity. They are obviously not.
No.
So you're
Deal
dating
breaker.
Whoa, Vicky.
Yeah,
No.
well, no.
And
yeah.
they have proof, and they're not necessarily radical about it. But if the topic is brought up,
Yeah, no.
Look,
They will-
transgender
they will
is one
stand by
thing,
what
right?
they think.
I will
Okay,
respect.
whoa.
some-
Whoa,
I will-
whoa,
I will
whoa,
respect
whoa.
Where are we going?
transgender.
Can we? Yeah, what?
No,
Okay,
no.
go for it.
Follow me. So, I'll respect someone who is transgender. If you think you're another race, fuck you. That's stupid. Deal breaker. Like,
What is the proof?
Yeah.
they have like ancestral documentation.
Does it say like?
They can just trace back their lineage that they are that ethnicity because
But
their
does it-
ancestors are that ethnicity.
Does it say like? Yeah, 100% African American.
It's pretty goddamn.
pretty high.
It's pretty plausible. Like it looks legit.
Yeah,
You don't have anything to prove that wrong.
Well,
Okay, well,
I mean, if
okay.
it's true, it's true. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I was about to say if
But
like
if it's definitely
No, okay,
not
here's
true,
the thing. You don't have anything to prove that wrong, but you're pretty sure it's not true.
well, okay, again, if like she had ancestral paper that was like okay 3 generations ago, like she had like her dad or her great granddad who was black. But like at that point, the gene has become so watered down with white that she looks white. I can't say she's not black. Like I mean, she's obviously got African American heritage in her.
Yeah,
Like, I will say like yeah, she don't look black, but
Yeah, like if the
I shit you
if
not,
the,
it's
if
in
the-
there.
If the proof is there, that's different. But if they
Okay.
just legitimately
But
think that they
if
are
she
racist-
does not have proof,
so-
if she
so-
does not have proof,
If the proof is there and it looks pretty legit and you can't dispute it, fine, whatever.
Yes.
But if you find out the proof is fake,
it's
Oh,
over.
no, yeah,
like
yeah.
immediately
no.
out.
immediately
yeah,
done.
because I would not want this conversation to come up. I mean, as being a liberal person, if ever a conversation came up with somebody about like, the mistreatment of other races or things like that, and she was the first person to come out there, this Aryan woman who is just like, being black, I'd be like, whoa, you're
Yeah,
throwing
yeah,
me
like,
under the bus
it would
just
be
because
like-
we're in a relationship.
It would be like one of those things where, like, say she thought she was Hispanic and she doesn't look it for whatever reason. She's
yeah, but I've seen that.
she's
before.
something that
there's been plenty of cases
like
like
like, but she's like, you're pretty sure. Like that's what I'm getting at. Like the thing is that you're pretty sure it's not. And that you're at like a party or something, and like the mistreatment of like XYZ comes up, and
Yeah.
they start talking about it as like, and they start referring to like, well, as a
starts
representative of
dropping-
my people,
If she
and
starts
blah, blah,
dropping
blah.
N-bombs, I'm also gonna have a problem.
It's like I said I wouldn't mind. Mainly because my circle and my life, we don't talk about race. So it's like, yeah, she can think she's a different race. When's that gonna come up? Ever? And if it does, with like my friends and all, I'm like at most you guys are gonna be like, that's fucking weird. I'm not gonna talk about that again. That's weird.
I don't know.
Especially if it makes things
I will be the
awkward.
first. I'll be the first person to say that, like, if you brought a girl around who was like very obviously white, and she just like started dropping N-bombs and being like, "It's cool,
I know,
I'm black,"
see,
and
no,
like,
like,
was
this is-
legitimate about it, I'd be like,
That's
"All
where
right, hold on, we have to
like
talk."
it got to the point like me and Oliver talked about this at Gangus Grill last night.
Yeah.
He was giving me this scenario as like a test run, and I kept being like, yeah, that's fine. I kept like deflating every tension, so he'd like, no, but this, and I'm like, well then no, and he's like, but it's not that bad. He's like, okay, well then yes. It's like
No,
and that came up too. Is like she just drops racial slurs because she can, because it's her race. I'm like, no, because I wouldn't date anybody.
So
like
if there's a
that.
girl that's 99% white, 1% black, what do you guys think?
if she identifies as black, that's
still not accurate.
not
Okay,
accurate.
I feel like, and I feel like it might change a little bit. Just like
I have
with the
Cherokee in
whole-
my bloodline, but you don't
she's-
see me running around.
She's
saying, "I'm
Caucasian.
Indian."
I hate when
Yeah,
people
she's
say that.
Caucasian, but she
Native
thinks she's
American.
African American.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
What if she's
Bleep, bleep,
like?
bleep, bleep.
What if she's I don't know, like she's obviously Japanese. She thinks she's Mexican.
Yeah, again,
I mean, like,
still,
Absolutely
it comes down to that
But
thing
like-
though, where I just would not.
also
I know people
changes
that
things.
have Native American in their bloodline, and whenever like they bring that up as like I'm part Native American, it's like
that it also changes.
you're
the
very
extremes
obviously
there.
white, and you pointing this out is really
I
It's-
feel
it's
like,
like-
when there's like, if you get to the majority of something, but not like a majority like, oh, 51-50. Like if it's like more of to like the 80 to something, 80-20 range, like you're the one that's the 80. So like there's, if your parents, your grandparents,
like if you're only
and your
1/4
great-grandparents
something.
are white, all of them, and then maybe the next one is like, oh, my great granddad
was black or
It's like-
Hispanic or whatever.
in this day and age, you are white.
yeah,
You're not black. You might have a little bit of black in you, but you're
Somewhere way
you're
down.
white.
Another
Yeah.
part of the thing that kind of deflated the thing for me is like, if it's my perfect like partner that I envision,
I guess that is.
she's
the
not.
answer.
yeah.
She's not like gonna be out there like that, because
But
that's not
I
my
guess that's
ideal person.
That's the point. Is that it's like everything else about them is completely perfect except for that one thing.
Yeah, I was about to say
stands
that,
out.
that
Is
deflates
it-
this whole hypothetical. If that's how
Yeah,
you
it's
think.
Plus,
like
if
if-
people try and do the thing where it's like, oh, I have this part of me in there, so I am this. It's like half the people in the world are Mongolian.
Yeah, no, that's accurate.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's also like if it's that thing, if it's like that extreme of a deal and she's a psycho about it, no. But if she's like, if it comes up in conversation like briefly and people get glossed over, it's like
that's the thing, man.
like that's weird.
I,
You're a little
I'm
weird.
someone that would not gloss over that. I'd be like, hold on, we have to talk about this.
And then she would, and then it would just be like,
And then it would be a deal breaker, probably.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Then it would be a deal
I
breaker
think
for me.
most people answer this with, no, that's not cool. And that's fine.
No,
it's just one of those things. It's like, how much does that bother you? It's
Even if
kinda
that's a
fun
thing
to
for
talk
you.
about.
It's always a gray area with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's another gray
it's
area.
what's
Kinda
the
like,
extreme.
kind of like all like the gender stuff. I'm not gonna get into it, but because that's a really hot topic right now. But
What?
The gender stuff.
Gender stuff.
Oh, I thought you said
Transgender.
It's like it's
ginger
all
stuff.
kind of like a gray area in a way.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, at the moment, I mean, you can be a good person and just shrug it off.
Accept
let that be
everyone.
that. Or you can just say, logically, there's issues with that. I personally don't have an issue with, like, transgender people. But I do with someone, like, trying to state something is 100% a fact. And then being like, here's the facts. Laying
I'm
out the
louder with
evidence.
Crowder. I know what I'm saying.
Laying out the evidence. And it turns out, like, they're 10% black. Well, you're 90% white. Which means right now
Yeah.
you are white.
Yeah, it's
This
it's
generation of your family
it
is a white
turns,
generation.
It also determines on like what's her quote actual race compared to what she's saying she is. Like it's different
Yeah.
from a white person saying that I am a black person from Uganda, as opposed to what his example was. Like she's Japanese, thinks she's like
Mexican.
Hispanic.
Like, okay, what does that mean? Like,
It's like-
does she have proof that she's Hispanic?
Yeah, the proof thing is still a little.
It's
so loose.
this is a purely looks thing right now. It's
Okay,
So-
so
like,
if
one's
I
more
find you,
believable.
okay,
We'll
so
just say for the,
Oh, you're talking about skin tone.
for the,
Yeah,
for the sake of
It's
this proof
believable.
thing.
It's just facial features.
Let's just say that the proof isn't
not even
like
always. I
Yeah.
have seen black people with really light skin that
yeah.
have Caucasian-looking features,
Yeah.
I mean this
and I can't tell them you're not black, especially if their parents are dead of night black. You know what I
We
mean?
are treading in some dangerous
But
waters.
like, no, that's genuine.
You guys ever walk
and you-
up
and
to a black
you can
person
bleep
and
out-
say you're not black?
You can bleep out the name. There's a really
he's
light-skinned
light-skinned
dude.
but both his parents are
talking about sax player, right?
Yeah. But both of his parents are really dark.
yeah.
And so, like, you can
It
walk up to him and
happens.
say, "You're white," because your
It
skin
happens.
is light
And
colored.
it's a controversial thing that happens. Like he's gotten shit for it all his life.
Yeah.
Like it's a controversial kind of topic where like if you don't look a certain way that you're supposed to, sometimes people are just like
that even goes into
you don't have the
like,
right to say that.
that even
kind of
goes
thing.
into like cultural norms, like
Yeah.
with just people. Like there are some people, I'm sure you've had this happen, where like you hang around with some white dudes and you watch anime and stuff, and some people are like, "You're not really black," and it's like. Just because you like white people, traditionally what you would call white people stuff, does not mean you're
I
not
wouldn't
black.
call anime traditionally white people stuff.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like
Yeah,
weeaboo
I-
white kid stuff. You know what I mean?
like, well, I don't want to bring anime into that because I don't,
maybe not anime.
But
you know what I mean, though. We're like, if
yeah,
you,
where
if you hung around with
you're
like,
called as white, as white.
Yeah.
I get that. I get called like, man, you're the whitest black guy I know.
yeah, and that
all
shit
the
sucks,
time.
and it's dumb.
But it's so stupid because it's like, so I have to act like an ignorant hood rat at all times to be black.
yeah,
That makes no sense. I can't just be civil. So that happens all the time. Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying is like that's fuck. Just because someone has light skin, you couldn't go up to them and say like,
So overall, it's a deal breaker unless their proof is pretty damn good.
they gotta have
Absolutely.
some pretty good, pretty
My-
damn good proof, or just don't talk about it.
Yeah,
Again, mine's not a deal breaker.
because yours isn't going to talk about it.
Yeah,
Your ideal girl wouldn't talk about it.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
she's not as she's as passive and non-confrontational as I am. It's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm this, and they're gonna be like, you're not that. And she's like, I mean, you can think that, I guess.
I
And
guess
if you're black, make me sweet tea and some seasoned food, and we'll see if you're black.
And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Billy signed us out.
If you'd like to send us anything or submit anything for this last segment we kind of did with the hypotheticals or whatever, you can follow us on Twitter at the BDP Official, or you can email us at braindeadpodcastofficial@gmail.com. Thank you guys for listening.